Our latest compilations in one place.
Hello there, everybody.
Things skinny people can do that fat people can't.
As a fat woman in fashion.
Hello there, everybody. This is just a friendly reminder that if you look at a fat person and then you assume shit about them, that goes along the lines of, oh, they don't work out. Oh, they must have diabetes. Guess what? That's fucking fat phobia. So unlearn it and don't be a dickhead.
Here's the problem with what you just said. Human beings are wired to learn from experiences, patterns, and observations. That's literally how we survived as a species. If you see a lion in the wild, you don't sit there and question whether it's a nice lion or a misunderstood lion. You run, because biology and survival instincts tell you this thing can kill you. Our brains form judgments from reality, not from wishful thinking. Stereotypes, whether you like it or not, don't just pop out of nowhere. They're built from repeated truths and lived experiences. When people look at someone who is obese and assume health issues, it's just pattern recognition. It's the same reason you assume someone smoking a pack a day might end up with lung problems. Basic logic. But fat acceptance tells people to ignore that logic, to pretend those instincts are fat phobia. Meanwhile, the CDC and countless studies show obesity is directly linked to diabetes, heart disease, and an early death. These are medical facts rather than opinions. And yet you stand there calling everyone who points this out a dickhead, as if shaming people into silence changes reality. Body positivity was supposed to help people build confidence, but you twisted it into an excuse to stay unhealthy while demanding applause. So no, people aren't going to unlearn what human biology already knows. They're not going to unlearn the fact that being 300 pounds is dangerous. You can preach body positivity or fat acceptance, but deep down, everyone knows the truth. You're lecturing people like we're all evil for noticing the obvious. When we see someone who's severely overweight, of course we assume health issues. That's just common sense backed by science. You want people to unlearn biology because it hurts your feelings. You don't get to redefine health just because you don't want to put down the pizza and burgers.
Same with sleep apnea. Tell that to Dot then. It's a fact that being fat affects your sleep because of increased neck circumference.
Serious question. Is fat phobia a fear of being overweight or a fear of people that are by some standard overweight?
Both.
Things skinny people can do that fat people can't. Now that I am significantly smaller than when I weighed 300 pounds, I can order whatever I want to eat whenever I want to eat without being judged for my freaking order. For example, today I have a lunch thing. I had to put my order in early. When I was 300 pounds, it's from a sandwich place. I would have ordered a tiny little 5-inch sandwich, or I would have ordered a salad, eaten probably half of it and been like, oh, I'm full. But now that I am smaller, I'm gonna order whatever the hell I want. I ordered the 12-inch sandwich. Nobody else got the 12-inch sandwich, but I got the big one. I'm gonna eat it for a few days and nobody's gonna think anything about what I have ordered because of my size. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter what I order because I'm smaller. Like, I must be healthy, right? So who cares if I'm eating a 12-inch sandwich? And don't even sit here and try to tell me nobody's thinking about what you're eating, because that is absolutely not true. Maybe you don't, but the vast majority of the population does. I've seen countless numbers of videos on here where people are talking about like, oh, I saw somebody at a restaurant eating this, or this is why people are fat. And the people in the comments are disgusting. And now that I am smaller and can order whatever I want, it is the most freeing thing ever. You can never understand, unless you've been in that situation, what it is like to just be able to eat a meal with nobody thinking anything of it. Wild.
I think that no one cares what you're eating. But when someone weighs 300 pounds, people might notice the food choice because it's a visible reflection of their lifestyle. And most people are too busy to give a damn about your 6-inch or 12-inch sandwich. I think the only person obsessed here is you. Because you know deep down, the food didn't put the weight on overnight. It was years of overeating. And here's the part you conveniently skip. A thinner person can get away with eating more once in a while, because they aren't carrying around 100 extra pounds of stored calories. Their body has balance. That's why nobody bats an eye when they order the big sandwich. It's not some magical privilege. If someone with a healthy body occasionally eats more, their system can handle it. But when someone already obese orders the same thing, yeah, it looks like a continuation of the problem. And that's the part you hate. The fact that people judge based on reality. Being smaller doesn't just make people judge you less, it literally is healthier. You lost weight, and suddenly you feel free. That's the reward of not being fat anymore, rather than what you call fat phobia. And instead of just admitting that, you dress it up like society is unfair to overweight people. No, society isn't unfair. Calories are. Metabolism is. Biology is.
I'm still paranoid. I've lost 120 pounds. My mother-in-law told the family she was worried I would get fat again because I had half an entree and shared a dessert.
That's so rude. I bet she's jealous of your progress.
If you choose to have a salad, people automatically assume that you're on a diet and judge you for that too.
As a fat woman in fashion and an ex-plus-size model, I'm already getting depressed about the lack of inclusion I'm seeing now at New York Fashion Week and at Like It to Know It. You know, I have previously walked New York Fashion Week twice. I have been published in Vogue. I have done everything I wanted to do in modeling and in fashion. And, you know, at this point, I feel like I'm so glad that I did, because I don't even know if any of that would be possible at this point. Truly. Like, I look at the people in these rooms and I see maybe 15 people in a larger body, even mid-size, and then out of 400 people, it's just breaking my heart watching it, and I don't want it anymore.
So New York Fashion Week isn't parading obesity down the runway anymore? So reality is finally snapping back. For years, the fashion industry twisted itself to push body positivity into every campaign, pretending morbid obesity was glamorous. And what happened? The whole thing turned into a circus. Now you're mad that the circus is shutting down. No. The world is finally waking up from the delusion. Fashion is about presenting an ideal. That ideal is health, beauty, and aspiration. The fact that you see only 15 larger bodies out of 400 is a good thing. That means designers are starting to remember why fashion exists in the first place. To inspire, not to normalize what everybody already knows is unhealthy. Maybe the real problem is that you built a career on selling people lies. Because the truth always wins eventually. And the truth is that obesity was never beautiful. It was just marketed as if it was.
This is so valid. We're definitely moving backwards and we were really getting somewhere.
14 out of 10.
Here we've got a long monologue where someone spends 10 minutes justifying why they joined a gym. 10 whole minutes of apologizing to the internet because they dared to take a step toward health. This is where fat acceptance culture has taken us. I will break down the video part by part, see what's wrong with this thinking, and try to give you some practical weight loss tips. Let's start.
I don't know if I'll actually post this. This is just me getting the thoughts out of my head. I did a little bit of this in therapy yesterday, but I got a gym membership. And I'm feeling really conflicted about it, and like the whole fitness and diet culture and losing weight and living in a larger body and fat liberation and all the things are like running through my head. And it's like, I think for a long time I felt like if I joined a gym and lost any weight, then it would be like a slap in the face to the fat community.
This should tell you everything right there. If simply wanting to breathe while walking upstairs feels like a betrayal, maybe the community you're loyal to isn't worth your loyalty. The fat liberation crowd built a prison, and you're in it. If you want to start escaping that prison, Start with daily walking. 30 minutes a day changes everything, lowers blood sugar, and builds the habit of moving without obsessing over the gym.
Slap in the face to the fat community because of how much that has really, I've only ever lived in a bigger body, and like that is the life that I know. And I think in the past people are like, you need to join a gym to lose weight, and it's all been under this like this umbrella or whatever of like we care about your health, but like no one does. They want you to be thin.
This is wrong. People want you to be healthy because health actually matters. According to the CDC, obesity increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers, the leading causes of preventable premature death. Pretending people are shallow for pointing that out is just denial. Step 1 to health: cut out processed sugar drinks, sodas, sweet teas, frappuccinos. Replace them with water, plain coffee, or sparkling water. That one change alone will move the needle faster than any treadmill.
And I'm 26 years old, and I think for the first time in my life, I am not actively trying to not be alive, and also maybe wanting to live longer. Who knew that could happen?
Wanting to live longer is good. That's progress. But notice what you're really saying. You didn't want to live before because your weight dragged you into depression. This is exactly what fat acceptance never admits. That living in a bigger body, as you put it, crushes your physical and mental health. So when you're obese, excess body fat raises cortisol, the stress hormone, and disrupts insulin, which spikes blood sugar crashes that wreck your mood. On top of that, obesity lowers serotonin and dopamine sensitivity, meaning the feel-good chemicals don't hit the same way anymore. And the result is brain fog and clinical depression that feeds right back into overeating. So escaping obesity would mean better mental health.
I genuinely have like lots of like joy and love and magic in my life now that I never thought that I would have. And I've had in small doses over the years, but like life is hard and it sucks and we have our things, but like I just, for the first time, I don't want to die. Oh my God. But I also am like, am I, letting down the fat community if I do this thing for myself?
You are asking if you are letting down the fat community by exercising. Listen to that. You're literally debating whether improving your health makes you a traitor. That's how toxic body positivity has become. It demands sacrifice, not of food, not of comfort, but of your actual life expectancy. Here is a weight loss tip. Start walking after meals. Just 10 minutes of walking lowers blood sugar, helps digestion, and burns calories without even feeling like exercise. 3 short walks a day adds up to real fat loss over time.
And I'm also very intentional. I don't like exercise. We're doing like very intentional movement. I've gotten older. My asthma got really bad over like 2020, and like, knock on wood, there's no wood in this car, but like it's been fine recently, but like I do my inhaler treatments and stuff like that. So I just don't feel good anymore in my body physically. I'm not able to do things. I don't have any stamina when I'm trying to like do something. And so like I walk up all the stairs in the evening to check on my dog, and I'm winded, and I want to feel better in my body. And so this is I think the healthiest mindset I've ever had about it. It's like, I'm not getting on a scale. I'm not doing anything with a personal trainer. I'm not doing a, body scan or a BMI. We're not doing any of that. That's not what I want to do.
So you admit you can't climb stairs without getting winded, that you lack stamina. Do you realize what you've done here? You just exposed the biggest lie of the fat acceptance cult, that being obese is just another body type. No, it's not. It's a daily physical limitation. You're confessing it right here. And you say you won't weigh yourself, won't track BMI, won't push yourself too hard. That sounds nice and comforting, but progress requires accountability. People who weigh themselves regularly lose twice as much weight, according to studies in the Journal of Obesity. You don't have to obsess, but pretending numbers don't exist won't save you from the consequences. Weigh yourself once a week, same day, same time, or do daily averages. Don't obsess over fluctuations. Look at the long-term trend. Data keeps you honest when your brain tries to justify cheat days.
I am just going. I'm doing the things that my friend is telling me to do. I'm doing them at my own pace. If it's too hard for me, I'm not going to push myself too hard. If it's, physically uncomfortable or if I can't breathe. I did find my emergency inhaler, which is good. And just not doing it, getting on a scale, and literally just working on building the energy that I just don't have anymore as I've gotten older. I remember my friend and I used to go in high school, and that one was very much of I need to lose weight, which that's the whole thing. But, we did it consistently for a long time, and I was doing 2-3 minute planks and wall sits and squats and all things, and was, felt fine. We went the other day. I still can't move my legs, and that's okay. But, we're doing our best. But yeah, I just think that there's such a negative sort of thing of I've over-identified, and that could be true, but it is who I am, and it's a part of who I am, and it's,
So you over-identified with being fat. Of course you did. That's the entire body positivity playbook. Take your weakness, call it your identity, and then weaponize it against anyone who suggests change. But you're realizing that this identity holds you hostage. Don't let your weight be your personality. Replace the I'm fat identity with I'm consistent. Start tracking one daily win, whether it's drinking water instead of soda, hitting 8,000 steps, or cooking at home. Stack enough wins, and your new identity becomes health.
maybe I've over-identified, and that could be true, but it is who I am, and it's a part of who I am, and it's, it affects every single moment of my life. Living in a larger body does, from the seats that I sit in at restaurants to, the safety things to doctors' visits. It affects everything, fashion and clothes, and it has been the center of my world. And I don't necessarily know that if I would assume that doing something like this consistently will come with weight loss. And if it does, that is not my goal for the first time.
You say you'll probably lose weight, but it's not your goal. But losing weight isn't just a side effect, it's the solution. The CDC estimates that losing just 5 to 10% of your body weight can improve blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. You can play semantic games all day, but biology doesn't negotiate. Focus on protein. Build your meals around meat, fish, and eggs. Protein keeps you full, preserves muscle while losing fat, and resets your appetite so cravings don't control you.
In my head, I have insecurities. That's not anybody's business, sort of thing, and whatever. And working through, is this just an insecurity? Is this internalized fat phobia? And I'm working through all of that. But this is for the first time is very much, I just want to feel better. I want to be able to run around with my godchildren and not be tired after 2 minutes, and keep up with my dog, who's almost 11, but still has more energy than I do, And so,
these are actual goals, and they're good. But the reason you can't do those things now is weight. The reason you're exhausted after 2 minutes of playing is weight. It's cause and effect. Here's a tip. Interval training works wonders. Play with your dog for 2 minutes, rest, repeat. Over time, increase those bursts.
Yeah, but I don't want to know what my weight is. I'm not doing measurement things. I'm not doing any of that. That's not the goal. I want to spend time with my friend, and because we're going to go together, we'll spend time with my friends, and just exist in a world and in a space where I can just feel free to move my body and still be okay taking up space. I have some insecurities about just and fears about like being at the gym. And we were doing something the other day and there were like teenage boys around and I was like, oh, I don't want to be here, you know, but
This is not about them. This is you being self-conscious. And why are you self-conscious? Because deep down, you know that your health is in ruins, and you're just now trying to fix it. The fat acceptance community tells you, love yourself as you are. But if that worked, you wouldn't feel humiliated walking into Planet Fitness. Here's a tip to kill gym anxiety. Go with a plan. Have in mind the 3 to 5 exercises before you walk in. Get in, get it done, get out. Confidence comes from knowing exactly what you're there to do.
Yeah, I think I've just hit the point where like I genuinely, I've always been a very like, I've lived my life in a very passive way because I have not wanted to live, and I have not taken care of myself in some ways as a form of self-harm. And so to hit this point where I was like, no, it might actually be okay to like be alive and enjoy it and not feel guilt for enjoying it, even when people are suffering. And I'm still doing my best to I'm still, you know, in all of that and, you know, trying to help in all the ways that I can. But this is my life and I get to live it. And I want to be able to live it without tons of like physical health complications and problems.
That's the entire point of weight loss. You just made the argument for diet and exercise better than I could. Also, you even confess you used your weight as self-harm. That's a heavy statement. But notice how fast fat acceptance will ignore this. They'll cheer you on as long as you keep eating, keep staying still, keep celebrating thickness. The second you try to save yourself, you're the villain. Strength training is freedom. Lifting weights not only burns calories but also builds muscle. 3 sessions a week is enough to change your entire body. And cut processed foods. The less packaging, the better. Whole foods normalize your appetite. Junk food hijacks your hunger hormones.
Without tons of like physical health complications and problems. And I have been very like lucky and fortunate to like only suffer and struggle with the like handful of physical health things that I have for the size that I am, my eating habits, all of that, and like whatever. And so and I still like my eating habits. I for the first time am not binging, and I'm not.
You cannot say your eating habits are fine because your blood work is okay for now. But obesity is progressive. It gets worse with age. You won't be healthy at every size at 40, 50, 60. What looks normal now turns into insulin resistance, hypertension, and joint damage later. So it's great that you finally woke up. Here's a tip. Start meal prepping twice a week. Cook lean protein and veggies in bulk. When healthy food is ready in the fridge or freezer, fast food becomes the inconvenient option.
My eating habits, I for the first time am not binging, and I'm not intentionally like not eating food. Like I forget because sometimes that happens with ADHD and whatever, but like I'm not doing it on purpose anymore, which feels healthy. So I'm still very of like the fed is best mindset. So like if I'm feeding myself something, then that's good. But I also, you know, I don't like certain foods. So I know that I'm not getting like the proper nutrients all the time and stuff like that.
I think that this thinking is wrong. Do you know what the fasting record is? A Scottish man fasted for 382 days. He subsisted on tea, coffee, sparkling water, vitamins, and yeast extract. He went from 456 pounds to 180 pounds. Yes, this is extreme, but the point is that skipping a meal or two won't do you harm. It can only benefit you. Fasting doesn't just burn fat. It resets your hormones and improves insulin sensitivity, which helps stabilize your appetite and energy levels. On top of that, fasting gives your gut a break, allowing your microbiome to rebalance. During fasting periods, beneficial bacteria thrive and inflammation decreases. Even intermittent fasting, skipping a meal here and there, can improve your gut health, boost metabolism, and reinforce your body's natural fat-burning processes.
And I've always been borderline on a lot of stuff. I'm very, like, we did all of my blood work not that long ago, very, like, quote unquote healthy for, you know, whatever, but I do always hover around some stuff. And I do think that being able to move more freely in my body without getting so tired and so winded will benefit me in, like, not having, like, this many asthma issues. Because I know a lot of asthma stuff is environment. I moved out of the environment that was causing a lot of the asthma, I think, and then now it's, you know, knock on wood, seems to be under control, but there's nothing scarier than not being able to breathe. So, yeah, all of this to say, I got a gym membership. So I don't know. It does still sort of feel like a betrayal. Like, I'm like, if I do this thing for myself, and I think it's because you see people online who preach fat liberation and body positivity and then all of this, and then they lose a bunch of weight and then they completely abandon their audience. And I don't want to do that.
And again, you feel like joining the gym is betrayal. You're right. It's a betrayal of fat acceptance. It's a betrayal of body positivity. And that's a good thing. Because what you really betrayed is their biggest secret. The lifestyle doesn't work. You proved it by saying out loud that you can't breathe, can't climb stairs. They hate that truth more than anything. Here is a weight loss tip. Make the gym your ally. Don't start with endless cardio, start with strength training. Building muscle not only makes you stronger, but also burns calories all day long.
I still very much am standing 10 toes down on fat liberation, and we should have better accommodations for people of size and better clothes and better, you know, all the things. I still definitely feel that way. I also don't think that I'm necessarily going to lose a bunch of weight and just be thin. That's not sort of what I think is in my cards. But I do want, if I do lose any weight, this is not a conversation I want to have with people. I know that you can't help it, and it's people are like, I'm not gonna be able to control it. People will say what they want, but oh my God, you look so good. Oh my God, you've lost so much weight. Oh my God, you're so pretty. I don't want that, because all that is saying to me is you were really ugly and fat and stupid and disgusting before, and now that you've lost weight, we find value in you. So I don't want that. Just so we're clear, if you see me lose weight, keep your mouth shut. Like, it's fine. Like, unless you were a friend of mine and that's the conversation we're having, it just feels like really inappropriate to comment on anybody's body, and, you know, unprompted. So, if I do, that's fine. And if I don't, that's fine. But if I can walk up the stairs and not feel like I'm going to die, that, I guess, really is the goal. So,
So you're worried about compliments, about people saying you look good. That's not an insult to your past self. Can it simply be a recognition of improvement? If someone said, your house looks clean, would you get offended because it used to be messy? That paranoia is what fat acceptance drilled into you, that everything is an attack. And you wrap it all up by saying you just want to walk upstairs without dying. Exactly. That's what weight loss gives you. Freedom, energy, mobility, a clear head. And you got there not by fat liberation, but by betraying it. The irony is that you're more positive about your body now that you're rejecting body positivity. Here's a mindset tip. Use compliments as fuel. When people notice progress, take it as proof your effort is working. Then double down. Set a simple goal like adding one more rep, one more set, or one more flight of stairs each week. Small wins compound into transformation.
Yeah. I just feel very passionate about all of this, and it really does. It feels like a very healthy mindset. I'm going into this not worrying about all of the things that I would have, like, high school me would have been very like, I gotta lose weight, I gotta count the calories. I don't want to do that. We're taking a very healthy approach to this. This has been 10 minutes of me talking, and I have to go do a session now. So, love you. Bye. I'm just going to let it get to 10 minutes. Let's just have fun. Bye.
You don't owe the fat acceptance community an apology. You owe yourself health. You don't need to defend getting a gym membership. You need to defend why you ever thought it was wrong. Let's see what the comments say.
I feel like anyone let down by you pursuing better health isn't someone worried about your doing what's best for you. Bigger, smaller, anywhere in between. People who truly care just want you to feel the way you want to feel, no matter the size.
I think I've just seen so many people lose weight and completely abandon the fat community and start preaching Everyone needs to lose weight and be thin. And I just want to be clear that I would never do something so misguided. I think it's because they have strong internalized fat phobia, so when they lose the weight, they have an excuse to hate fat people loudly. It just makes me so sad, and it can be so hurtful, damaging, and I never want to perpetuate that.
I think what made the gym feel good to me was to realize there are so few places I could go and not actively spend money and be around people. And it also genuinely helped my mental health.
It's really complicated. I always lived in a bigger body also, but the older I got the harder it was to continue living in a bigger body. For me, it was when I went to the beach and couldn't get up and down to the water that I thought something has to change. I was 28 and I thought, if this is my 20s, what's 30s or 40s going to look like? My family mostly died in their 60s and they couldn't take care of themselves. It really scared me because I was in my 20s and couldn't do certain things. I decided to change because I wanted to live and wanted to live well. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how others feel about your body or your weight. It's about how you feel in your body. 2 years later, after losing significant amount of weight, I went back to the beach and was able to swim in the ocean like I did when I was a child, free of the weight that held me back. It was brain-altering.
I just watched a video where someone gives simple, no-nonsense advice. Stop having a pity party, eat better, move your body, and stay consistent. Pretty straightforward. But of course, here comes a fat activist nutritionist to tell us why that advice is irresponsible and privileged. Let's see.
The reason why you're fat is because you don't try hard enough. Fucking hell. You think that you're working hard, but you're not, and you're not being consistent at all. And then you look at people who are thin, lean, fit, and you're like, oh my God, it's their genetics, it's their age, it's their metabolism, like life is so unfair. And the actuality is that you're just not doing shit. I have 3 things going against me this week. I'm at my parents' for the week, so I'm outside of my typical routine. I'm a little sick, and I have my period. 3 things that would stop most people from being consistent. Instead, I bought a little walking pad to have here while I work. I have my apple, I'm not eating a whole bunch of shit, and I have my water. And I'm doing what I typically do at home while I'm here, okay? So I'm still being consistent even while I'm away. I have a little head cold, it's fine, I'll get over it. And for my period, yeah, periods suck, but doesn't mean that I need to go eat like a fucking Shrek. Stop your own pity party and get to fucking work.
You know how much I loathe the term pity party? Loathe. There's so much to talk about here. 1, people's body composition is a lot more down to genetics, hormones, socioeconomic status, mental health. There's a lot more to our body composition than just what we eat and how we move our body.
So here we go, another fat activist trying to twist reality. She hears someone say, stop having a pity party, and immediately loses her mind. Why? Because that phrase destroys the entire foundation of fat acceptance. The whole movement depends on you thinking you're a helpless victim of genetics, hormones, or society. The second you take responsibility, the narrative collapses. Genetics, hormones, socioeconomic status, mental health. The holy list of excuses. Yes, these things do exist, but accountability also exists. Most people are not obese because of some mystical gene mutation. Study after study has shown the same thing. Obesity is overwhelmingly driven by lifestyle, eating too much and moving too little. Harvard Health even points out that while genetics can predispose someone, they don't determine your weight. Choices do. But fat activists hate that fact, because it means they have to stop blaming invisible forces and start actually putting in work.
And when I see people belittle it down to that, to me it's really irresponsible because you're ignoring these huge contributing factors that affect our bodies. The second thing, what she seemingly ignores here are considerable factors that affect how and when someone can move their body. And these are very similar reasons to what I mentioned earlier. And even with regards to the period, everybody's menstrual cycle is incredibly different. Talk to somebody that has PCOS, endometriosis. Even between me and my better half, our periods look incredibly different.
You are calling it irresponsible to say weight loss is about food and exercise? Please. What's irresponsible is saying that being obese is just another valid body type. The CDC lists obesity as a risk factor for heart disease and certain cancers. People literally die from this. But sure, Let's focus on making sure no one's feelings get hurt instead of helping them change. That's the real irresponsibility here. And you act like moving your body is some impossible task reserved for the privileged. You don't need a personal trainer or a fancy gym membership. You can walk. You can use your own body weight. Or you can simply stop eating that much. You don't need to be rich to not eat fast food every day. Stop making poverty an excuse for obesity when many healthy foods are cheaper than Uber Eats. This whole thing is also so weird because you are fit, so it looks like you don't want people to achieve your level. And yes, medical conditions can make things harder. No one is denying that. But you don't get a free pass to throw health out the window, weirdo.
And these aren't excuses. They can have a really big impact on someone's ability to move their body. And so having this mindset of if I can do it, you can do it. This is an incredibly privileged position to be in, and to ignore that, for me, comes across a little irresponsible when you have a following online.
No, it's not privilege, it's discipline. This is the problem with fat acceptance. It sells victimhood instead of accountability. It tells people they're powerless. And even worse, it convinces an entire audience that being overweight is inevitable. At the end of the day, the body positivity movement doesn't make people healthier, but makes them sicker. And weight loss is about consistency. It's about doing the boring, difficult things every single day until the results show up. And it should be uncomfortable, because comfort is exactly what's keeping you fat.
Exercising while sick isn't good for you. A doctor.
I love that tough love. I can't give myself excuses because I have PCOS or wrong genetics. I'd rather tell myself I can do it, I'm just not doing enough.
Some people have never had true adversity or difficulty in their lives, and damn, it shows.
Nah, she's right. People, including myself, make too many excuses. The day I stopped my own pity party and excuses is the day everything changed and I finally lost 50 pounds. Your health is an investment.
What in the rage bait is this?
What did she say that was wrong?
How is it still not common knowledge that exercising when you're sick, even if it's just a cold, is extremely dangerous for your heart? Damages might not be felt instantly, but they are there.
Isn't she walking? Walking with a cold isn't going to hurt anyone. Humans are made to walk. Y'all do too much sometimes.
Actually, with a cold, walking can benefit you as it can increase circulation and open up airways.
These kinda people break my heart. I tried so hard for so long. I played roller derby. I very rarely missed a practice or game, even signed up with other leagues for boot camps. It wasn't until I got GLP-1 insulin for my diabetes. It helps with my PCOS and insulin resistance. I lost 100 pounds last year. Me at my fattest worked so much harder and deserves kindness.
So every time someone tells the truth about weight loss, fat acceptance swoops in with the same excuses. And while activists are busy rewriting reality to protect feelings, obesity rates keep climbing, and health problems keep getting worse. Body positivity was supposed to be about confidence. Instead, it turned into glorified denial, convincing people to celebrate a lifestyle that ruins their health. The truth is boring but simple. If you want results, stop waiting for the perfect condition. Stop blaming everything but yourself, and actually put in the work. Consistency beats excuses every single time.
I just went to the gym, and while I was there,
I've been going to the gym for years and my body hasn't changed.
Why more people just don't stop dieting.
I'm a plus-size fitness instructor.
Buckle up. We're going to break down 4 clips one by one and talk about what's really going on behind the body positivity slogans. Let's start with somewhat of an old video, but I just want to point out the mindset we are dealing with.
welcome to FaceTime for the Fats, a series where I, a fat, talk about things that only plus-size people will understand.
So, you proudly announce that you're fat, and that you're going to speak for things only plus-size people understand. Right here, you've already made fatness into an identity. Not a condition you could change, not something tied to lifestyle or health choices, but a badge of honor. That's the fat acceptance movement in a nutshell. treating a self-inflicted problem like a social category. You don't hear smokers calling themselves nicotine Americans and demanding everyone understand their struggles when they wheeze up a flight of stairs. But let's see what she has to say.
I just went to the gym, and while I was there, I was finally able to verbally articulate a feeling that I have felt in spaces just with other humans around in general, especially ones that include movement, for the first time in my life. So today was a lifting day. I was doing some deadlifts, and I noticed myself being very on edge in the sense where I felt myself building up a wall around me emotionally. And my eyes were on other people like a hawk, making sure they weren't looking at me. And that if they were, I would be on the defense already, being like, you can't touch me. I already see you, sort of thing.
Doing deadlifts at the gym is great, right? You're actually moving your body, working towards something better. But instead of focusing on your form and progress, you're obsessing over imaginary judgment. You build up this whole narrative where the entire gym is supposedly staring at you, but nobody cares. But you've convinced yourself you're the star of some tragic movie where everyone's secretly against you. That's paranoia. So this defensive mindset you describe, scanning the room like a hawk, waiting for someone to look at you, it's proof of insecurity. You played the victim in your head. This is where the fat acceptance narrative falls apart. People scream about systemic fat phobia while simultaneously admitting that most of their negative experiences exist entirely in their imagination. If you're creating the problem in your mind, then maybe the issue isn't society. Maybe the issue is your unwillingness to accept reality.
You can't touch me. I already see you, sort of thing. And I had to stop myself, and I was like, what are we doing this for? Where is this coming from? Because not a single soul was looking at me, not one. Everyone was minding their own business, which is honestly why I like the gym that I go to, because everyone truly does mind their own goddamn business. And I had to be so gentle with myself in that moment, because I was like, Deanna, you have been subjected to stares, to laughs, to mockery of your body, and if not your body, the body of someone else who looks similar to you, for your entire fucking life.
So you start blaming your past. Life isn't a safe space, and the world doesn't revolve around making sure your feelings are never hurt. Everyone gets mocked for something. Short people, bald people, skinny people, disabled people. The difference is, most of them don't build an entire movement around demanding praise for their condition. That acceptance tells you to dwell on your pain instead of fixing the underlying issue, which, in this case, is your weight.
Of course it makes sense when you're doing something that, especially for someone in a larger body, can be very vulnerable, such as going to the gym, that you're gonna be on guard, fight or flight, trying to protect yourself, even when in the moment there isn't really a threat. And once again, these boys, the people around me, they were not doing a thing. They were just working out. And so all of this to say, this was a wonderful reminder for me that while, yes, it is important to have a sense of self that keeps you safe and secure from genuine, real fat-phobic threats, it's also equally as important to recognize that you have been through so much already. And if you are still fat, that you probably continue to go through things like this at one point or another, and that in the long run, you're not doing yourself any favors by sitting and stewing in that place of hypervigilance.
This is good advice. But hypervigilance as self-protection. Protecting yourself from what? Ghosts? Shadows? That acceptance always tells you that you're a warrior, constantly under attack.
And I'll be the first one to say that is so much easier said than done, because look what I just told you. It happened to me today. Not to mention other factors that play into trauma and whatnot. There's a lot of nuance that can't be discussed right here in one little TikTok. But you are so worthy of being able to let your guard down. You are worthy of moving through the world with ease. And you are worthy of peace. Just as you are.
Then comes the inspirational speech. You tell yourself and your audience that they're worthy of peace. Worthy of existing as they are. Nobody said you weren't. So in the end, this whole video is a perfect example of how fat acceptance turns self-imposed problems into fake oppression. If you really want peace, stop obsessing over who might be looking at you and start looking at your health results. That's where the real fight is.
Yes, my therapist told me if you don't have a positive experience with movement before age 11, you will always feel anxious during.
Most people at the gym, if they notice you at all, will be rooting you on for working out.
I barely even leave my house anymore because of it. Food is DoorDashed, groceries are delivered. I'm so tired of feeling judged.
One comment that I seem to get a lot on social media is the fact that I've been going to the gym for years and my body hasn't changed. But what if I told you in the last few years the intention of me going to the gym has never been to change my body? And I know that's something that may shock you, but for over 10 years of my life, I did used to work out with the intention of changing my body. And I got so overly obsessed with it, to the point that I had multiple different eating disorders, which I then went into recovery for and had to get a lot of therapy to fix. So yeah, you may have seen my gym content, and I'll openly tell you now my body hasn't changed. That's because I've decided to break the cycle. And all I really care about is improving my performance and just being the best, fittest version of myself. Whatever body comes with that, I'm so okay with. But you will never see me going to the gym to change my body. And if you watch this far, please remember there's so much more to fitness than just shrinking your body. I love you.
So you've been going to the gym for years, but your body hasn't changed, and you're proud of that? Look, I'm still failing math, but hey, at least I enjoy the classroom. Here's the reality you're dodging. Being the best, fittest version of yourself requires change. It requires progress. And yes, that means weight loss if you're overweight. Performance and health are not separate from body composition. Your joints, heart, lungs, and metabolism don't care about your trauma narrative. They respond to numbers: fat percentage, cardiovascular capacity, blood pressure, insulin sensitivity. Those are the markers of the best version of you, and they don't improve without your body changing. You say you're okay with whatever body comes with your workouts. That's just a poetic way of saying you've given up. Because if you're training properly, fueling properly, and truly optimizing for fitness, your body will change. It's biology. If it hasn't, that means you're not doing those things.
My intention for working out is for the endorphins to replace my rage.
There is a vast difference between fitness and looking fit.
I genuinely don't understand why more people just don't stop dieting or start like intuitively eating, just kind of accept their body where it's at and stop just trying to change their bodies. Speaking of someone that literally tried dieting like hundreds of fucking times, and I honestly just got so fucking tired of it, and I just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna try loving myself where I'm fucking at, let my body settle at the weight that it wants to, just fucking be, like just be at peace.
This is a cute way of saying, I surrendered. Your body doesn't want to be obese. It is obese because of what you feed it. Bodies adapt to habits. That's cause and effect. And calling fat your body's natural state is like calling lung cancer your body's preferred condition after a lifetime of smoking. And you've tried dieting hundreds of times and it didn't work. Maybe that's because you never understood what diet actually means. Diet isn't supposed to be a 6-week punishment before a vacation. It's not a temporary starvation ritual you abandon the moment the scale moves. The word diet literally means what you eat. It's a lifestyle. The daily choices you make for the rest of your life. If you treated eating like a long-term strategy instead of a quick fix, you wouldn't need to try hundreds of diets. You'd pick a sustainable way to nourish your body and stick to it. But instead of building real habits, you bounced from one short-term gimmick to the next. And now you're calling that failure intuitive eating.
Just fucking be, like just be at peace. Because when I was trying to change my body, I was constantly stressed. I was crying over food that I was eating. I was worrying about losing weight for vacation, losing weight for a date, picking myself apart in the fucking mirror, thinking I was so ugly. And now, I think I'm hot as fuck. I love myself. I love my body. I love everything that my body does for me. I nourish my body with food.
Confidence is great, but it doesn't cancel out consequences. You can feel sexy, but your arteries don't care how you feel. Your pancreas doesn't care about your body positivity. Feelings are not facts, and this fantasy that confidence makes being fat okay is exactly why fat acceptance is so dangerous. And your dieting that made you cry and stressed you out is supposed to prove dieting is bad? No. It proves your relationship with food and body image was broken. That's an argument for fixing your mindset. Millions of people manage to maintain a healthy weight without tears and breakdowns. The solution to unhealthy obsession isn't swinging to the other extreme.
I never looked at food as fuel, and now I do that. And I'm just not trying to change the way that I fucking look. And I genuinely, I cannot wrap my mind around why people are just constantly in a state of trying to change their fucking bodies. I was talking about being 200 pounds and accepting where I was at, and I had a woman comment on my video and say I should try fucking fasting for 3 days because the weight will just fall off. No shit, bitch, you're not eating and you're losing water weight, but I don't fucking want that. I just don't miss either just constantly being in that restless state where I'm not happy where I'm at. And now I am, and I wouldn't trade this for anything.
The fasting comment you mention is telling. You mock her for pointing out that not eating will cause weight loss, as if that's a bad thing. Fasting also has many different benefits for your health. So the real problem here is that you equate peace with giving up. You weren't happy when you were trying to change, so now you've convinced yourself that not changing is the answer. And no, people shouldn't stop trying to change their bodies, because change is how we grow. And when it comes to obesity, change is how you stay alive long enough to enjoy the body you claim to love.
Because if I intuitively eat, I'm 100 pounds overweight. I have an ed. It's not peaceful, lol.
Counted calories. Had a total crash out but didn't give up. You will be in mental pain for about a month or two, but if you get over that, dieting is easy. Lost 25 pounds now and it's easy now. Super happy.
I'm Rhiannon. I'm a plus-size fitness instructor, kind of outside of my normal job. And the reason I started becoming a fitness instructor was because in the plus-size space, it's so hard to be represented when it comes to fitness classes. And you always feel that little bit of awkwardness going into the gym and starting a new class and everyone looks amazing. So really, the whole point of me kind of doing the classes was to open it up to everyone to feel super inspired, super comfortable in doing anything that they want to do. I'm stupid, I go wrong, I'm a normal person. And I think that really relates to a lot of people that come to my classes, I'm sure. Yeah, cool, good. And then obviously I found JLux, whose mission is very much the same, representing every kind of body shape and making us feel amazing. So.
I think the whole idea here is backwards. You don't need to be fat to make fat people feel welcome in a gym. You don't need a doctor with lung cancer so smokers feel comfortable in a hospital. Fitness instructors are supposed to lead by example. The goal isn't to feel comfortable staying the same. I think you're trying to redesign the environment so nobody ever feels challenged. Then there's the part where you describe yourself as stupid so that people can relate to you. Do you hear yourself? You're literally lowering the bar and calling it inclusivity. You basically called them stupid. And people don't need instructors to mirror their weaknesses. They need instructors to model their potential. This obsession with representation in fitness is part of the reason obesity keeps climbing. We've shifted the focus from results to feelings. So you don't have to be fat to teach fat people. In fact, you shouldn't be, because if the instructor hasn't achieved the very thing they're trying to teach, then what exactly are they teaching? Comfort? I don't know. I really have mixed feelings about this.
This is fantastic. Everybody's shape size needs to be represented in the fitness industry to encourage everybody to move.
Hi, I'm really interested in starting the journey to becoming a plus-size personal trainer or coach. What courses would you recommend?
So, loving yourself and improving yourself are not enemies. In fact, they go hand in hand. If you eat too much, move too little, and stay in denial, the consequences are inevitable.
People will tell me I shouldn't even bother working out.
I'm the kind of person that really wants to go to the gym, but you don't want to be perceived.
Exercise was a punishment for me.
Living in a bigger body, I get a lot of backlash for just like existing. People will tell me I shouldn't even bother working out because I'm still fat.
Please. No one is mad at you for existing. What you're calling backlash is usually just people telling you the truth, that carrying a lot of extra weight is bad for your health and you should probably do something about it. And for sure, most people aren't telling you not to work out. They're telling you to work out more. And that's good advice. But if the scale isn't moving, it's not the gym's fault, it's the kitchen's fault. You can't out-train a fork. But it's easier to paint yourself as a victim of fat phobia than to accept that maybe, just maybe, decades of choices led you here.
I shouldn't even bother working out because I'm still fat. Last year when I got injured, I hoped and thought that if I worked hard enough on my recovery that I could get close to or back to how I was before. I try certain leg machines once every few months and normally I can't do them successfully. Today I did the leg press successfully and I was so proud of myself. I decided to push myself and try the leg curl. This was way too rough on my ankle and knee, so I couldn't do it. I got a little emotional just because it can feel defeating when I am working so hard for the past almost year and a half, and just don't know if I'll ever be back to where I was.
First off, the leg extension. It's one of the most useless exercises you could pick for your condition. If you're trying to rebuild strength and lose fat, compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, and lunges are way more effective and much easier on the joints in the long run. Even though we don't know what your injury was, just start with body weight. And also, you'd make 10 times the progress walking on an incline treadmill and eating 500 fewer calories a day than you will sitting on that machine. And you won't ever get back to where you were if your habits stay where they are. You've spent years building the body you live in now. You earn that body, bite by bite, day after day. So the gym can't fix decades of overeating by itself. Focus more on your diet.
It's just hard to accept sometimes, but I feel like I have a purpose and, you know, there's a reason I'm still here. At least that's what I have to tell myself. Growing up, I always thought the reason people worked out was to lose weight and get skinnier. Of course, that's a reason people work out, but being fat wasn't something I woke up and chose to be one day or something I can just take off and hide no matter how much I've tried.
Body positivity wants to sell you the idea that every size is healthy. But according to the CDC, obesity increases your risk for 13 different types of cancer. So working out is not only about chasing aesthetics, but reclaiming your health and future. And yes, fat loss is part of that, always has been. And no one thinks you woke up fat like it's a rash. But pretending it's this mysterious force that just happened to you is dishonest. It was years of eating more calories than you burned. That's literally how fat storage works. And once you accept that, you stop playing victim and start taking control. That's what every successful weight loss journey is built on: ownership.
I want to lose weight. I've always wanted to lose weight, even when I was like 10 and didn't need to lose any weight. Obviously, changing your life isn't an overnight process, and even if it's happening slower or different than someone else's timeline, doesn't mean that your journey isn't valid. I'm trying to take it day by day. I love you guys. I'm proud of you. Thanks for being along for the journey.
It's not an overnight process, but that doesn't mean every approach is valid. Real change happens when you build consistency in the gym, push your limits regularly, and fix your nutrition daily. Momentum is what actually changes you. So if you want to be proud of yourself, go to the gym more often and choose compound movements that actually build strength. Fix your diet, because weight loss begins and ends in the kitchen. And stop lying to yourself about what people are saying. They're not mocking you for working out.
Try Pilates. It's a game changer.
The important part is that you're moving, one day at a time.
Kind of person that really wants to go to the gym, but you don't want to be perceived at the gym, here are some tips. First off, it's totally okay to not want to be perceived. I don't want to be perceived most of the time. I don't even want my gender to be perceived, let alone my body. I think everyone's going to tell you is just go to the gym when no one else is at the gym. That's easy. But here are some tips that I think are a little bit more helpful, because what if someone actually shows up? And then my favorite thing to do is just wear a shit ton of clothes. I want you to wear sweatpants. I want you to wear a hoodie. Keep the hoodie up. Even better, fucking wear sunglasses. Who fucking cares? Look a little suspicious.
So the gym isn't a Broadway stage. No one bought tickets to perceiving you. People are there to lift weights, sweat, and leave. And if the sight of another human being acknowledging your existence is too much, maybe work on your mindset before worrying about deadlifts. The truth is, no one in there cares about your gender, your body, your outfit, or your existential crisis. They're too busy trying not to drop a barbell on their face or even think the same. The gym anxiety people talk about is mostly self-created. It disappears the second you stop making yourself the center of everyone else's universe. So if baggy clothes make you comfortable, wear them. But you don't need camouflage.
Personally, I like wearing big clothes because it makes me feel like I'm little. And I'm 5'9", and I'm plus size, and I'm anything but little. Now, if you do go to the gym and you notice it's busy and you don't feel like wearing baggy clothes, maybe you want to show off some of those assets. That's more than welcome. Personally, don't feel like there's anything to be ashamed of, no matter what your size is. You could literally wear a bikini to the gym and I would just applaud you. I mean, they do wear bikinis in fitness competitions, I'm just saying. Honestly, the best piece of advice I can give you is just please stop giving a fuck at the gym. More often than not, no one's fucking looking at you, no one's fucking judging you, because we are all there for the same reasons. And I don't know a single person who goes to the gym that doesn't have body dysmorphia. So please just show up and try it and just keep showing up. It should get easier. And then also my last little tidbit is just plan your workout before you go to the gym. Save a video, maybe one of mine. Be prepared. That way your anxiety can't get the best of you, or hopefully as much of you as you think it will.
Yes, wear what you're comfortable in, but not every choice is equally practical. And if the goal is weight loss or muscle building, your focus should be on performance, not applause. The fastest way to get rid of gym anxiety is to stop fixating on what strangers might think. Everyone there is too busy worrying about their own form, their own set. People are not watching you nearly as much as you think they are, because they're focused on themselves, which is exactly what you should be doing too. And no, not everyone has body dysmorphia. Stop normalizing unhealthy mental habits as universal truths. You don't need a negative relationship with your body to justify showing up. And finally, a good gym advice: plan your workout before you go. This is the one part of the video that isn't soaked in insecurity. Yes, plan your workout. Know what exercises you're going to do, in what order, and why. This is what separates people who spin their wheels for years from those who make real progress. When you have a plan, you walk into that gym with purpose, and that purpose drowns out all the noise in your head. Also, this lowers your anxiety since you know what's next. I generally agree with all said, but the message you should be spreading isn't hide and hope no one sees you. It's show up, focus on your own progress, and stop wasting energy on imaginary spectators.
And what if they are judging and looking?
I take my glasses off on the treadmill bike so I can't see anyone, so obviously they can't see me.
I'm in the parking lot of Planet Fitness right now. Been here for 20 minutes.
If you're a plus-size girl who wants to work out but is restricted from some movements, try this.
Do you know how different my relationship to exercise would have been if this was the way that people spoke about exercising? I've been fat all my life, and growing up, exercise was a punishment for me. Something I had to do as a consequence of being fat to try and fix my body. But I couldn't do everything my trainers wanted me to do because I wasn't in a thin body like them. I was told that working out was supposed to be painful, and if it didn't hurt, it wasn't working.
So, being plus size doesn't mean you're incapable of movement. If a 300-pound man can learn how to squat properly, so can you. The human body is adaptable, and the gym is literally built to help it adapt. Exercise is the most effective, science-backed tool we have for changing the body and strengthening the mind. Your trainers weren't villains because they pushed you. Muscle doesn't grow without resistance. Fat doesn't burn without effort. And no one, thin or fat, can do everything on day one. Everyone struggles. That's literally how the body changes. And that pain you're demonizing, that's called progressive overload. It's the same principle that allows you to build muscle and lose weight. So if a movement was too advanced, the answer wasn't to give up. It was to scale it down and build up over time.
And if it didn't hurt, it wasn't working. I was never given an alternative option. And obviously that contributed to me feeling really negatively about movement and exercise. It sucks. And maybe if I was treated like a human being, like a person, and someone had given me this option when I was younger, when I was a kid, my feelings about exercise would be different. So I really appreciate the fact that people like this exist and are making exercise more accessible on TikTok. And to every person that's ever been rude in my comments saying I just need to work out to lose weight, you never never actually cared. You've never cared if a fat person actually is working out or not. You don't actually care about people's health. You just want to be a bigot.
You were treated like a human being whose body responds to calories in and calories out. And options always exist. Squats can become box squats, push-ups can become knee push-ups, and cardio can be as simple as walking. So blaming your past forever is just another way to stay stuck in the same body. And the instant someone points out a fact, we're calling them a bigot. You don't have to like the messenger, but the message doesn't stop being true. People telling you to work out are doing you a favor. They're pointing at the exit door from the very problem you're complaining about.
Just want to be a bigot. Because this is a person who actually cares and is actually giving real life advice to people who choose to want to do movement and is allowing them to adapt movements that would work better for their bodies. Do you see how easy it is to not be a hateful bigot? It's an individual's choice what they want to do with their body. It's an individual's choice if they want to work out or not. You don't get to say what someone should or shouldn't do with their body. But this person is just giving people the tools that they need if they want to. Now they have access to that. And I think that's really cool.
To work out or not is a choice, yes. And so are the consequences. You absolutely have the right to sit on the couch and do nothing. But the human body also has the right to develop insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease. So if you want weight loss, stop hiding behind victim narratives and show up for yourself. Because the only person holding you back is the one making excuses in the mirror.
I was shamed for not exercising, and then mocked when I did.
I wish my PE teacher had me lift, not run. I wish they would have played to my strengths, not pushed through my weaknesses.
I feel the same way. I'm trying to deconstruct the cosmetic aspect of exercise and do it because I want to be strong. I have a body-inspired board.
Stop blaming society, stop calling science hate, and stop hiding from the work. If you want to change, the gym is right there.
Things that aren't talked about enough as a plus-size person. How some people cannot fathom that I like myself and my body the way that I am.
You like yourself and your body the way you are? I have to ask, what exactly is there to like about a body that is actively working against you? This is the kind of thing people say to feel better about choices that are slowly destroying them. And yes, people are shocked, but because it's bizarre to celebrate a condition that science repeatedly links to diabetes and shortened lifespan.
They immediately go into the, well, aren't you trying to lose weight? Or don't you want to better your health? Just because you are skinny doesn't mean you're healthy.
But nobody is talking about thin people. Now we're talking about you, the person who is visibly, undeniably obese and using social media to preach about how perfect everything is. Shifting the conversation to skinny people is a distraction.
I am perfectly healthy. I don't have any health problems, thank God. But they just automatically hate it. They gotta hate on it. Like, these people know nothing about me or my health. They just assume that I'm a bigger person means I have crappy blood pressure or I have diabetes or something around that.
No, they know you're at a dramatically higher risk of it. That's just statistics. Roughly 90% of people with type 2 diabetes are overweight or obese. Using rare exceptions to justify a dangerous lifestyle is reckless.
But back to the point. Me showing my skin and showing people how to be confident in their bodies the way that they are is not promoting obesity. I'm showing people that they can be confident and wear whatever the hell they want to wear and rock it. But this would be a totally different story if I announced I just lost 30 pounds and here's what I wear. But because I'm not saying I'm losing weight, people automatically assume that, oh, you're trying to show how you're being confident, you're promoting obesity.
When you post videos celebrating a lifestyle that leads to disease while mocking the idea of weight loss, you're not just showing confidence, you are promoting obesity. You're telling people that there's nothing wrong with giving up on themselves. You're just choosing comfort over change.
I'm a personal trainer and a power lifter. Maybe you're focusing on the wrong parts of your health.
At these bigger gyms that I was at, first step is a kettlebell over my head and marching in place.
Not care about what people think and just do you.
I still to this day have gym anxiety.
Let's talk about the bizarre trend of pretending that obesity and fitness belong in the same sentence. We're going to look at a handful of viral clips from creators who are trying very hard to convince you that you can stay obese and still call it fitness. Let's start.
My name is Carrie. I'm a personal trainer and a powerlifter who lives 4 days a week, and this is what my body looks like. Which means that when I post my workouts on social media, most people assume I'm just starting my fitness journey. I've been working as a fitness professional for 5 years now, and that part still rubs me the wrong way. Because there are so many people in larger bodies moving their bodies regularly and accomplishing their goals in the gym, and they'll always be seen as a beginner because the size of their body hasn't dramatically changed. But hey, maybe if I keep showing up on your timeline, you'll recognize that someone's size does not actually determine their fitness level.
So you're a personal trainer and a powerlifter who trains 4 days a week, and this is what your body looks like? You say that like it's supposed to be some kind of revelation, but it's actually the most common excuse we hear from the body positivity crowd. You stand there presenting a body that is visibly carrying too much fat, and then act shocked that people assume you're a beginner. And how could they not? In a world where fitness is supposed to mean visible progress, strength, and health, the signals your body sends are the opposite. Lifting heavy is cool, but if the diet is ultra-processed junk and the gut is inflamed, you're building strength on top of dysfunction. Because 5 years into being a fitness professional and still having a body composition that screams beginner is a sign something fundamental is off. Fasting, prioritizing animal protein, cutting ultra-processed foods is where transformation happens. I really think that trainers are supposed to embody the lifestyle, not just preach it. Now, don't get me wrong, if you were branding yourself purely as a powerlifter, I'd get it. Being heavier can help with stability and force production. But you're also calling yourself a fitness trainer. And fitness isn't about just hitting a heavy squat PR. Clients come to you to look and feel better, to lose fat and build muscle. So you can absolutely be strong in a larger body, but being obese is not compatible with optimal health. Strength and fitness are not just about how much weight you can deadlift. That's why body composition does matter. If you truly care about helping people in the gym, stop normalizing mediocrity. Because the goal of fitness is not to stay the same.
But how is the body still large though? Not trying to be funny, but calories in versus calories out? I know powerlifters need to consume more because they lift heavier. But shouldn't the body at least be toned? Genuinely curious, please educate me.
This is why fitness is 70% diet, 30% exercise, lifting.
My trainer should look like my goals.
Personal trainer. In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
And that's exactly the kind of mental gymnastics we see too often, hiding behind titles like powerlifter to justify staying overweight. However, whether you're lifting heavy or not, excess fat still carries massive health risks. Let's watch her follow up.
1 week ago today, I went viral on accident for saying this is what my body looks like as a personal trainer and a power lifter. And baby, Lord. There's been a lot of comments, a lot of questions, and I'm gonna choose which ones I wanna answer and which ones are not worth my time. I did get the question the other day though, how do you balance body positivity with also being aware of obesity-related health risks? I think we all know I'm not a doctor, but what I can tell you is that any obesity-related health risk can be a health risk for anyone in any body size.
So anyone can have obesity-related health risks at any size? Technically, yes. A thin person can be metabolically unhealthy. But statistically, that's the exception, not the rule.
So while that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be conscious of our health, it does mean that we don't really have to chase a number. The size of my jeans is not actually going to determine my health, but what will are the habits that I've created. Working out regularly, feeding my body the things that it likes, sleep, not having a lot of stress in my life, as much as, we can control that. I'm never telling anyone to ignore their health. What I'm telling you is maybe you're focusing on the wrong parts of your health. That's all.
You talk about habits, workouts, sleep, stress, but notice how you conveniently leave out the most important habit, the diet. You can train 4 days a week and sleep 8 hours, but if your meals are built on sugar and ultra-processed garbage, you're still damaging your gut and wrecking your insulin sensitivity. Nutrition should be the foundation. And yes, feeding your body the things it likes sounds cute, but the body likes dopamine hits too. That doesn't mean they're good for it. The most powerful health habit you can build is mastering what's on your plate. And how can you say that maybe we're focusing on the wrong parts of health when excess fat is literally the one with the most evidence behind it? Visceral fat isn't just sitting there, it's actively secreting inflammatory molecules, disrupting hormones, and increasing disease risk.
Just goes to show people only care about thinness and not strength and health.
Next, we have not so wrong gym mindset, but again,
why did I switch from a bigger gym to a smaller gym as a plus size person? At these bigger gyms that I was at, I could definitely tell that I was not 100% comfortable. Because guaranteed at the time that I would be going, it would be jam-packed. And I felt myself being very nervous to be in that space. Mentally, I was kind of like building a wall. Like, is that person looking at me? Is that person looking at me? Oh my God, if they're looking at me, like I need to move.
You were uncomfortable because the gym was crowded, but it's also that you are uncomfortable with is your own body. You're obese. You know it. And you're projecting that insecurity onto the environment. Fitness should not be hiding in corners. It's about showing up, doing the work, and improving your body so that your confidence doesn't depend on the size of the room. I think if you were truly focused on health, you'd be thinking about what you're lifting, how your diet is impacting your fat loss, not checking if some stranger is silently judging your body. Feeling anxious about others is a mindset problem created by excess fat. I want to say, so it will get better, but you are getting bigger month by month. Imagine if your energy was put into mastering compound lifts or tracking macros instead of building invisible walls in your mind.
And even when I would go at like 12, 1 o'clock, there would still be so many people there. And you want to know what? We all pay for the same damn membership, so that's 100% valid. But still, I could not shake the feeling of just being so nervous and so anxious about who's watching at me, who's looking at me. It was just very uncomfortable. Now, I literally go to the gym that is 5 minutes up the block. There is never a single soul in there. The gym is pretty small, but it has all the high-tech gear that I absolutely love. The only person I ever see in there is the owner, and he's very rarely ever there. And it's open 24 hours. All I have to do is a little key fob and it lets me right in. The only time that I have driven by and I've actually seen people in there is at like 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 or like when people do get out of work. And the max amount of people I've seen there, 4, not even.
So you found an empty gym where no one sees you. That's a nice way to avoid confronting the consequences of being overweight. Hiding in a private 24-hour gym doesn't make you fit, it makes you comfortable.
And I love that because I was not so self-conscious about looking around, who's seeing me, who's doing this, who's doing that. And also, for the people that I did see when I was there, they were so friendly. Like, they would come up to you and help you, or they would just have a casual conversation with you. And when I was in the bigger gym, it's kind of like no one speaks to each other. And like, if you're on my machine, I'm going to give you dirty looks for the next 20 minutes. Or if your form is wrong, they're going to look at you and go, she can figure that out on her own. But it wasn't that at all at this gym. And the owner gives free advice, free workouts, free personal training. I have nothing bad to say about this gym, and I'm very happy I switched over to a smaller gym. Yes, it is a little bit more pricey. Instead of going to like a place like Planet Fitness where it's $10, I pay $49.99 a month for a small gym that has better equipment and I'm alone. Nothing gets better than that.
Free advice is good, but is useless if it isn't followed with action. If the people in the small gym are walking the walk, why isn't that you? And you casually throw out the price comparison, $10 at Planet Fitness versus $50 at your exclusive gym, as if paying more somehow validates your choices. You can lift in a crowded gym for $10 and achieve more than you ever will hiding alone in a small, expensive space. I'm all for people finding spaces where they feel confident, but when comfort becomes the goal instead of progress, you're already setting yourself up to fail. And speaking of doing the bare minimum, let's see what happens when that same mindset carries over into her actual workouts.
Let's do a core workout that is mostly standing as a plus-size baddie. For all of these workouts, my main goal is to keep my core nice and tight. First up is a kettlebell over my head and marching in place.
Watching this, it's hard to even call it a workout. She barely looks like she's breaking a sweat. There is more core engagement in any other exercise that you do. If you're not challenging your muscles with real resistance, you're not building strength. You're just waving a dumbbell around in an expensive gym.
Marching in place, I'm going to do 30 steps and do that 4 times. Next up is around the world. I do it 10 in one direction, then I switch to the other way and I do that 4 times. I know some of these exercises look silly, but trust me, you're going to feel it in your obliques. This next one is just really keeping my core engaged. I do each side 10 times and I'm going to do 4 rounds of each. Now instead of having the kettlebell over my head, I'm going to bring it down like I'm doing a mini crunch and bring my opposite leg up. These are my favorites. I don't know why I love them, but I feel them everywhere. I do 10 on each side and I do that for 4 rounds. And my last part is just crunches. I don't like to be directly on the ground, so I grabbed a ball and I'm going to do 10 crunches and I'm going to do those for 4 rounds. Making sure to keep breathing and my core nice and tight.
She even admits this looks silly. If her goal is fat loss or a tighter core, waving one kettlebell in circles isn't going to cut it. Compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, presses, and rows actually build strength and help with fat burning, something she seems to completely ignore. She says she loves the mini crunch move, and it's obvious why. She's barely moving. She doesn't struggle. She doesn't even seem tired. The only thing this is doing is wasting time that could be spent lifting heavier, compound movements, and actually stimulating muscle growth, which in turn would boost metabolism and help with fat loss. So she's in a fancy gym, using one measly kettlebell, barely moving, and calling it a workout. Watching this, it's clear she's prioritizing the appearance of exercising over actual fitness.
I feel like my belly gets in the way of being able to do the full movement, and I don't really feel it. I try to tense my core, but it's so out of service, LMAO.
There are many ways to lose weight, but also make money. You will get what I mean over the next 2 videos. Let's see.
To everyone that's battling the idea of starting something new in your health journey, maybe you're a larger body like mine and people judge you and they ridicule you for being authentic and wanting more for yourself. Take this as a message that you need to start today. Not care about what people think and just do you.
Classic motivational speech. Start today. Ignore the haters. Just do you. Let's cut through the bullshit here. You're trying to sell a mini trampoline as a weight loss solution, and that's laughable because it's so ineffective. You say you want more for yourself, but wanting and doing the right things are not the same. Fat loss is about energy balance. A trampoline might burn 100 to 150 calories in 30 minutes, barely a dent in the 3,500 calorie deficit needed to lose a single pound of fat. A brisk walk can do just as much, and it's far safer and more sustainable. Things like these keep people stuck. You don't need a trampoline to lose weight, but discipline, a protein-heavy diet, fasting windows, compound lifts, and consistent movement. Walk for 45 minutes a day, clean up your nutrition, and you'll make more progress in a month than a year of bouncing on overpriced springs.
Honey, go by this motto. What people think of you is none of your business. They are not feeding you. They're not taking care of you. They are not housing you. They're not being intimate with you, so it doesn't matter what they say.
And it's not just one person doing this. This trend is spreading. Here's another creator telling the same story, but this time with a sales pitch attached.
As someone that was once 390 pounds, I can't tell you the amount of times I would be embarrassed going to the gym starting out and seeing that a lot of the equipment only held up to 250 pounds. I still to this day have gym anxiety because of that, which is why I've probably been paying for a gym membership and haven't went yet. That's why I was so excited when I was sent this and I saw that this went up to 550 pounds because I know how much anxiety can hold us back from wanting to change our health. A couple benefits that I've seen from this is supposed to help with lymphatic drainage. These type of exercises are also easier for your joints. Honestly, it's going to be easier to do squats, and we know what squats can do for the booty. I cannot wait to share this rebounding journey with you, so I hope you'll follow along. And as well, if you want to grab yours, they are available on TikTok Shop above my name.
Anxiety isn't an excuse to avoid the one thing that actually changes your body: consistent, challenging exercise paired with a proper diet. And now, instead of addressing that issue, you're selling people the fantasy that a trampoline will fix it. You hype it up because it holds 550 pounds, but just because something can hold your weight doesn't mean it will change your weight. So while bouncing might feel gentle on the joints, it's also gentle on your calorie burn. And the big reveal, this was never about health. It's about selling you something. That's the real reason for this video. They're trying to make money off your desperation. And that's the common thread across all of this content. People selling comfort instead of results.
My doctor and my chiropractor have always told me to avoid trampolines because of my back problems.
I feel comfortable and accepted in the gym.
Obesity is linked to heart disease and many cancers. You can fix that by creating a calorie deficit, by prioritizing protein, walking daily, by fasting, by healing your gut microbiome, and lifting weights to build muscle and improve metabolic health. Comfort doesn't make you stronger, and pretending obesity is just another body type doesn't make it any less deadly.
I'm so freaking tired of especially men on this app saying things like, oh, the reason that you can't be more consistent at the gym is because you're lazy. Bitch, I am overthinking this a little bit too much. What am I going to wear? I hope no one stares at me. I hope no one leaves negative comments on my TikTok of me just trying to get healthy. And this is really going to blow your mind. I'm 285 pounds. I am not trying to lose weight.
How exactly are you trying to get healthy while refusing to lose weight? You don't need a PhD to understand that excess body fat wrecks hormonal balance and worsens inflammation. I am all for strength training, but if you're doing it while proudly clinging to 285 pounds, you're missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. And the reason you can't be more consistent at the gym can in fact be because you are lazy. Because when you open your video with anger instead of accountability, it tells me this isn't about health anymore, but about defending excuses. Also, your account name, Fit Body Full Belly, says a lot.
I am not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to get strong and force my very depressed brain to get the freaking happy chemicals it needs so I don't want to...
Yes, exercise is amazing for mental health, but also your gut health and diet dictate it. Fasting, eating real food, cutting out ultra-processed garbage are things that actually shift your microbiome and, in turn, your brain chemistry.
But something about going from, hey, I need to work to live, I need to clean the house, I need to take care of the kids, I need to do these chores, you overthink, like, am I going to have even enough energy if I do work out? What else am I sacrificing in my already busy day to go to the gym and spend some time on me? Is it the guilt of not feeling like we're good enough or that we deserve that healthy time of going to the gym, even if it's just for 30 minutes, even if it's just for 10 minutes? I know so many of us have paid for that membership to go to that gym, got really excited for the first week, and then something just happened. You had that first rest day, and you just never fucking went back. After a year later, after starting my fitness journey, and it took an entire almost 6 months off because I just felt so much shame about how I wasn't going to the gym. I actually canceled my membership and just got back into it 2 weeks ago. And that first rest day, it was like a domino effect. It happened all over again. But the only thing that can help me stay consistent is honestly just trying to get back in routine and try not to overthink, even though my ADHD brain is like, what do you mean? We've never been able to not overthink a day in our life, but we can try.
You speak like you're powerless in your own story, but health isn't something that happens to you. It's built by you. 285 pounds isn't body positivity. It's a warning sign. Muscle is medicine. Weight loss is therapy. And you know what breaks a domino effect? A plan. A real nutrition plan. Consistent sleep. Structured training. A fasting window that resets your gut and appetite. Not just showing up when you feel like it, but restructuring your whole lifestyle so that going to the gym is as automatic as brushing your teeth. That's how you make fitness part of who you are, not just a hobby you revisit every few months. And you ask yourself if you'll have enough energy to work out? Yes, You will, when you stop fueling your body like a dumpster. I think your habits are the issue, not the energy. A high-protein diet with stable blood sugar means you will have the energy. And, ironically, the less weight you carry around, the more energy you gain.
I'm with you on this. I'm not lazy. I just have really bad anxiety and overthink too much.
I have such anxiety to even walk in the door of the gym. Help.
I have little motivation and discipline, and my hormones sap my energy. Also get caught up in my headspace too.
I am with you 100%. Especially about will I have the time and the energy to do other things I need to do.
4 other gyms that turned me down because I was too fat to be a personal trainer in their gym.
They call me a fat trainer, an overweight trainer, a plus size trainer.
I think fat personal trainers are so villainized on this app.
Let's talk about the bizarre new trend infecting the fitness world. Fat personal trainers, aka fat acceptance in fitness. If you dare question it, you're fat-phobic.
She looked me up and down and she said, "Sorry, I just don't think you have the right look to be a trainer here." And as a freshly qualified personal trainer, that was my first experience interviewing at a commercial gym. And to that woman and the 4 other gyms that turned me down because I was too fat to be a personal trainer in their gym, thank you.
So you think they were the problem? This is exactly what's broken about the fat acceptance and body positivity movements today. Instead of acknowledging that maybe there's a reason people don't trust an overweight person to lead them to health, you jump straight to blaming the industry. A personal trainer, the very word implies personal example. If you walk into a gym and the person telling you about fitness and weight loss is visibly out of shape, the credibility instantly collapses. Will you trust a dentist with rotting teeth or a driving instructor who's never touched a steering wheel? And yes, they said you were too fat to work there. Even if that is mean to you, reality doesn't bend because feelings get hurt. They were right, and you know it. Fitness is a visual industry. People walk into a gym looking for a body and a lifestyle they want to emulate. They want guidance from someone who embodies the discipline. You don't hire a lifeguard who can't swim. Anyway, so you want to teach people to lose weight and improve their health, but shouldn't you at least look like someone who's done those things yourself? A fat personal trainer is basically an oxymoron. Being a trainer should not be only the certification.
Because 8 years later, I am an online women's health and mindset coach. I am living the life of my dreams. I have coached over 175 women to living their healthiest, happiest, most fulfilled, beautiful lives. And I would never have got there if I started working in your stupid gym.
8 years later, you're an online women's health and mindset coach. I hope you were teaching them that health includes reversing insulin resistance, restoring gut microbiome balance, and lowering visceral fat? Or are you teaching them to love themselves into an early grave? Because you can't mindset your way out of chronic inflammation. Health starts with what you put in your body, ditching ultra-processed foods and, for me, using fasting strategically to reset your metabolism. And once that's handled, you go to the gym to lift heavy. And let's talk about that part. Your stupid gym. This is the entitlement I keep seeing in the body positivity bubble. Everyone else is wrong, not you. Everyone is wrong for expecting a trainer to look fit, but you're right for ignoring the entire purpose of a gym. This is the classic, change everyone else's standards instead of improving yourself move. Gyms exist to transform bodies. You mocking those who didn't hire you says more about your ego than about their judgment. Maybe they were just being honest about what clients expect. By every basic logic and science, health and obesity are not compatible. You can't redefine fitness just to make yourself feel better. Trainers should look like trainers.
Can you give us the names of those gyms so we can stay clear, please?
Girl, I appreciate your support so much. They're all commercial chain gyms.
The fat acceptance mindset is now parading itself as expertise. And nothing proves that more clearly than this next obese trainer.
I get judged the first 5 seconds someone meets me. They don't know my story.
As if knowing your backstory is supposed to override what's standing right in front of our eyes. But we don't need your story. Humans evolved to make snap judgments because our survival depended on it. If someone looks unhealthy, our brain registers it immediately. And that instinct hasn't vanished just because we now have hashtags like body positivity. In the fitness world, visual cues matter because people are trusting you with their health. Basic logic.
I get judged the first 5 seconds someone meets me. They don't know my story. They don't know that I have lost the equivalent of 200-pound men. That I work every fucking day harder than any other trainer because they call me a fat trainer. I'm a personal trainer with first-hand experience going from 160 pounds to 700 pounds to losing 400 pounds.
I work harder than anyone else. And hard work isn't proof of competence. You can work 12 hours a day digging a hole in the wrong spot. You're still digging the wrong hole. Working more doesn't mean you know more. And if you've truly lost the equivalent of 200-pound men, but are still standing here calling yourself a fat trainer, the obvious question is, why did you stop? Weight loss is a science, and if you understand that science, if you understand fasting, gut health, metabolic repair, and the discipline of building muscle, you don't stop halfway. If you really know what you're doing, why are you still living inside the very problem you claim to help people escape? Your story does not make you the authority on health. If anything, it shows you still haven't conquered it. At best, maybe you're qualified to help someone go from 600 to 500. But when they want to push past that into true fitness, they need someone else. Dragging someone slightly out of the danger zone is not enough.
I understand the determination it takes to fight for your fucking life every single day. So they call me a fat trainer, an overweight trainer, a plus-size trainer. Call me whatever the fuck you want. I know I'm a kick-ass trainer who knows her shit inside and out. I have trained hundreds of women who have stepped into their greatness, overcome their emotional eating, healed the body dysmorphia, and loved themselves again. They see an overweight trainer. They don't see me.
No, we see exactly what we need to see, and that's enough. In fitness, results speak louder than stories. A trainer's body is a living advertisement for their methods and credibility. If the product you're selling is health, then your own body is the storefront.
Their jelly are so pretty.
That's exactly who I want to learn from. Being fit is more than a hash. You are beautiful.
Wish I could train with you because I could feel safe in the knowledge you wouldn't judge me.
Okay, I've been meaning to reply to some of these comments for a while. The first thing I want to talk about today, though, is fat personal trainers. I think fat personal trainers are so villainized on this app, but they're also so important, as this person says. It's good to see what various bodies look like doing certain moves and certain exercises.
Watching fat folks crush it at the gym, in yoga practice, in figure skating, dance, powerlifting, gymnastics is so brilliant. It's also so good to see what various sizes of bodies look like.
And it's important to note that not everybody's fitness goals are the same. My fitness goal is not thinness. My fitness goal is to be jacked. So I don't need a thin personal trainer. I need a personal trainer that knows how to safely and effectively lift weights for me to achieve my goals of being a strong bitch.
Fat personal trainers are villainized. No, they're questioned, rightfully questioned. And the fact that you frame basic accountability as villainy says everything about this fat acceptance bubble. You're asking us to ignore the most obvious biological indicator of metabolic health. That's delusion. And the representation argument. So now fitness should be seeing what various bodies look like doing a squat. If your goal is to be jacked, why are you still buried under a layer of fat that makes the muscle invisible? And if your trainer doesn't embody that, why would you trust them to lead you there? I think if you truly know how to train, your body should reflect it. A trainer whose body is a walking contradiction is confusing.
All that to say, I wanted to use this opportunity to shout out fat trainers, regardless of the sport or the thing that they're training. So please sound off in the comments, tag your favorite plus size fitness folks. I'll shout out two of my faves, and I'll tag them too, so you can find them. But Flexibility with Vera, she's a plus size flexibility instructor, and it's great because I think if you look at a lot of not that she does yoga, but a lot of yoga poses and stuff where you're on the ground, your belly's in the way, and she's got a belly, so she can adapt around that, which is really helpful. Yoga came up a lot in some of our other chats about not nice spaces to be as a fat person. So having a plus size flexibility coach is fantastic. I love that.
Your belly's in the way. Exactly. That's the problem. Instead of addressing why that belly is there and how to lose it, you celebrate trainers who invent detours around it. Who cares how many variations of belly-friendly yoga you invent if the belly shouldn't be there in the first place? This obsession with modifying exercises to accommodate obesity is backwards. Modify the environment to accommodate dysfunction instead of eliminating the dysfunction itself? Wouldn't it be better to build a lifestyle that removes the belly? Fasting, cutting ultra-processed garbage, prioritizing whole foods, healing the gut is how you stop needing modifications.
And then also want to shout out Steph at Iron Lion Fitness, which is a fitness studio that's local to me, but she's also on this app doing her thing, and she's fantastic. Their studio is such a welcoming space for fat bodies. We've had I haven't been there in a while, but when I was there, we've had a lot of conversations about fatness in the fitness industry and as a professional, but also as somebody who's just going. So yeah, I'll tag them both below, so you can go check them out, give them a follow, but tag your favorite plus size fitness people, please.
Tag your favorite plus-size trainers because fitness is now about creating welcoming spaces for obesity instead of eliminating the condition altogether. Fat people may feel more comfortable around fat trainers, but comfort is not the goal. A trainer's job isn't to mirror your condition. This is not health. This is not fitness. This is the fat acceptance movement hijacking an industry built on discipline. A personal trainer should be a walking example of what they teach. If you want people to trust your advice on weight loss, on building muscle, then show the results in your own body first. Otherwise, you're just a motivational speaker with a gym membership. Real fitness demands progress.
This is not the first time this happens. Like I said, I'm kind of like somebody who goes to gym a lot.
We're diving into one of those videos. The kind where someone goes to the gym, gets a simple compliment, and somehow turns it into a full-blown TED Talk. Let's see.
So I'm currently traveling, and so I don't want to lose my vitality streak, so I'm working out in the hotel gym. I come in and I find this woman, and yes she is. So I just nod as a greeting, and then I go to the elliptical and I start the machine. And in the middle of my workout, she comes up to me and says, she's proud of me and I should keep going. She encourages me and compliments me.
So a complete stranger offers you a kind, encouraging word, and that's what ruined your day? I think this is normal because the gym is one of the few places where people genuinely root for each other. But you didn't hear support. You heard an insult. Why? Because deep down, you know she's right. You aren't where you want to be. And being reminded of that fact hurts.
I should keep going. She encourages me and compliments me and says, well done, you'll get there. And it just made me think about anti-fatness or fat phobia that happens in the gym and why it also contributes to fat people or people who are considered not fit enough, not wanting to go to the gym.
The gym doesn't care what size you are. The dumbbells don't discriminate. What does care, though, is your heart and liver. Excess fat isn't just another body type. It's a metabolic signal that your body is under stress, inflamed, and struggling. But you want to change what people think. You want to change the basic logic.
This is not the first time this happens. Like I said, I'm kind of like somebody who goes to gym a lot, and I'm fat, and I would consider myself really fit.
This is mostly a myth. Sure, you can have decent cardio or lift some weights, but excess visceral fat is still one of the strongest predictors of insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, and early mortality. So, I don't think fat and fit is possible. A 2020 meta-analysis in the European Heart Journal found that even metabolically healthy obese people still had a 28% higher risk of heart disease than their lean counterparts. Fitness matters, but body composition matters too. And they are correlated.
I would consider myself really fit. And, even at my usual gym, sometimes people say things like that, and it's always so weird or well done because of the unintentional change in my bodies or whatever. But anyway, I wanted to problematize this because this is about saying it's heroic to be in gym because this is an unusual place where you find fat people. And it really says that you must be here, or you must be here to fix your body, because God forbid somebody just works out or working out. It has to be about trying to achieve thinness, because we live in a world that reveres thinness as the standard, and where all people are working towards being thin.
So people assume you're at the gym to fix your body. Well, aren't you? That's what the gym is for. That's why we're all there. Thin, fat, muscular, whatever. We're trying to improve something. Muscle strength, cardiovascular endurance, metabolic health, mental resilience. Even your precious vitality streak is about improving something. If the very idea of improving your body feels offensive, maybe the problem isn't society. Just saying.
It also reinforces the good fat, bad fat narrative, so that me as a fat person being in the gym, I'm performing health, right? I am trying to be the standard of thinness and all of that. And fat people who don't engage in gym or whatever is considered good, healthy practices, or like exercise or whatever, are bad fat people because they're lazy and they're doing nothing proactive about becoming thin.
You're mad because society praises the fat person who tries, who lifts, runs, changes their diet, and criticizes the one who doesn't. Why shouldn't it? There is a difference between effort and apathy. The gym-going person is actively working to improve their health and life expectancy. The sedentary person isn't. Those choices have different outcomes. You're demanding that effort and laziness be treated the same. I think this is not justice.
Nothing proactive about becoming thin. And what this does, it creates this good fat, bad fat binary, and where some people are shamed for their actions and some people are lauded for their actions. And lastly, I think it speaks to non-fat people or thin people's entitlement to surveil, monitor, and, look at other people's bodies.
So you want to frame that woman's compliment as surveillance and entitlement. Really? Not everything is oppression. Some things are just people being polite. But you twisted that into a personal attack because it reminded you that, yes, in a world that values health and longevity, excess fat isn't the norm.
Look at other people's bodies to say they're acceptable or unacceptable, because this is the world we live in, a world where thin people are entitled to respect, thin people are entitled to walk around and just be.
So is everyone. But the world isn't obligated to celebrate every outcome equally. Let's address the elephant in the room, literally. Obesity isn't just about looks. It's about inflammation, hormones, and the gut microbiome. Research shows that gut bacteria composition can influence how your body stores fat and responds to food. And the most powerful tool to change that is caloric balance, whole foods, protein, fiber. Fix your gut health, and you'll fix a lot of what's holding you back. Lifting weights is great, essential even, for building muscle and improving metabolism. But no amount of cardio on that elliptical will outrun a bad diet. Building muscle, by the way, is one of the best things you can do for long-term weight loss and metabolic health. Every pound of muscle you gain burns extra calories at rest. It improves insulin sensitivity. It boosts your mood and cognitive function. That's why people preach strength training and disciplined nutrition, because we know it's not about chasing thinness. It's about optimizing your body so you feel better, think clearer, and live longer. And let's not forget the mental health side of this. The gym is therapy. It's one of the few places where effort directly equals results. People go there to become better versions of themselves. And yet you frame that place as hostile just because someone reminded you that improvement is possible. Maybe instead of building a victim narrative, you should build muscle.
And so there is this ownership or sense of ownership over fat bodies because you are trying to make them healthy or you are concerned about their health in one way or the other. And it's underhanded and it's not a compliment.
It wasn't underhanded. It was uncomfortable. And there's a difference. It's uncomfortable because deep down, you know that fat is not the optimal state for a human body. And being reminded of that truth, even kindly, stings. I think maybe discomfort is often the first step toward change.
It's underhanded and it's not a compliment. And I was just so annoyed at this person, a stranger in a hotel in a foreign country, telling me about my body.
I think that the woman didn't insult you. She just reminded you that improvement is possible. And that reminder felt like an attack, only because you're clinging to a worldview where effort and outcome don't matter.
You'll get there. Where are we going?
I genuinely believe in asking people who give backhanded compliments what they mean. And ask them to explain why they thought that was an appropriate thing to say.
People assume that fat cannot be fit, that a fat body is not a natural body, not the way that your body is. We need to understand that bodies are bodies and they don't look the same.
Like fat phobia is holding us back.
People need to understand that people work out for different reasons. Even for someone like me who's skinny, the gym still felt uncomfortable. For me, people often looked at me like, "Why are you here? You're already in shape." But the truth is, being skinny doesn't mean I'm fit. So I guess what I'm saying is that the gym can feel intimidating in different ways for different people.
Does not mean that my account is about weight loss.
Today I'm going out on the most challenging run I've ever done.
Welcome to the wonderful world of fitness theater. I'm going to break down 3 examples of what not to do if you actually care about weight loss and building muscle. Let's start.
I've been getting a lot of comments like this, and I wanted to address it. First off, I just want to say thanks for the comment because it definitely helped this video get seen by more people.
Classic influencer move. Turn criticism into clout. But notice something deeper. She never acknowledges why those comments exist. It's because obesity is not some random aesthetic preference. According to the CDC, over 42% of American adults are obese, and that skyrockets risk for heart disease and even certain cancers.
And just to clarify, just because I'm a plus-size person posting movement online does not mean that my account is about weight loss. My account is about helping people find movement that they enjoy pain-free.
And that, right there, is the problem. Sure, rebounding on a trampoline is fun, but it's barely more effective than a brisk walk. By stripping weight loss from the conversation, she's stripping away the most powerful reason most people even start moving in the first place:
movement that they enjoy pain-free, helping people just like all of these commenters. Many times you don't see plus size creators that often because we get comments like this all the time. I hid away for a long time, but I realized I had a story and a voice and could help so many others similar to me. I realized that so many people go through some of the similar struggles that I have, issues with their thyroid, autoimmune diseases, struggling to find movement that they enjoy, to get rid of the toxic diet culture that we've grown up with.
This became the catch-all excuse to ignore personal responsibility. Are some diet trends toxic? Sure. But dismissing the entire concept of diet as lifestyle is ludicrous. Nutrition is the foundation of health. Your gut microbiome plays a massive role in weight regulation, mental health, and immune function. If we feed it processed junk and oversized portions, no amount of trampoline jumping will save us.
And so that's the heart of why I share, is because I want people to know that they are not alone, that they are seen, and that there is hope. And that movement doesn't have to happen for aesthetics or to fit into a certain size, but because movement truly is a gift and not a punishment.
Technically true. But let's be honest, most of us do care about how we look, and more importantly, how we feel. Building muscle isn't just about looking strong. It boosts metabolism, improves insulin sensitivity, and massively helps mental health. Countless studies show that resistance training reduces anxiety and depression. Yet, none of that is mentioned. Instead, it's sugar-coated as movement as a gift.
I'm always going to get comments like this just naturally because of the body that I have and the kind of content that I create. The more comments that I get, especially ones like this one, the more engagement I get and the more that my videos are seen by the people who truly need to see them.
As many of you have mentioned in the comments, all fat activists play semantic games and distance themselves with phrases like the one she said, "the body that I have." Pure denial. And did you catch the part that outrage is good for business? Maybe that's the whole game. Because if she truly wanted her audience to improve their health, she'd risk losing followers by telling the uncomfortable truth. But if they stay overweight, if they stay struggling, they'll keep coming back for reassurance. And reassurance is great for views.
So keep commenting, keep engaging into my community. I truly love you and appreciate you so much.
So here's my take. This creator isn't evil, but she's incomplete. And saying, "my body," instead of "I'm obese," is irresponsible. If she truly wanted to help, she'd teach her audience how to reclaim their health, not just accept their limitations. And that's the message I want for you. Don't settle for comfort when you're capable of transformation.
We need you. You are a gift to our industry.
Haters are just jealous.
Plus size, disabled yoga teacher here. Keep doing you.
So why does all this matter? Because this isn't just one influencer, it's a whole movement, the fat acceptance and anti-diet crowd, that's teaching people to stay stuck. We have to start somewhere? Yes. Start by standing up. This is one of the most ridiculous trends the fitness world has churned out in recent years. The idea that sitting in a chair and waving your arms and legs around is going to transform your body is about as believable as thinking you'll learn to swim by standing in the shower. If someone is recovering from an injury or is extremely limited in mobility, there's a place for gentle seated movement. But for the average person trying to lose fat or improve health, chair workouts are basically the equivalent of fitness cosplay. Walking for 20 minutes does more for you than an hour of flapping your legs while watching TV. And don't even get me started on weight loss. Over 80% of fat loss comes from diet, not chair-bound exercises. You could burn more calories just cleaning your kitchen. Plus, they often create a false sense of accomplishment, like you're doing something, when really, your heart rate barely budges and your muscles never get challenged. If you want real results, stand up. Walk. Lift something heavy.
Chair workouts are so hard. I was doing them when I had a broken foot and wow, my core works so much more.
Okay, 'cause I have a desk job and I needed to know this exists.
Today I'm going out on the most challenging run I've ever done. It's like 70 degrees, so this is the fit. Got new shoes for the occasion. Doing a little warm-up walk. Gotta make sure I'm good and warm before I run. I'm about half a mile in, and I'm gonna run a whole mile. After these stairs, I'm running again. I'm about halfway through mile 2. Feeling rough, but I'm okay. I timed it perfectly to end at my favorite spot, and now I've got about a mile to walk back to my car. Whew. And now I'm done and can go home and nap. I'm gonna nap.
Let's talk about this most challenging run she's so proud of. Because this is exactly the kind of content that looks inspiring, but is actually setting people up for failure. If you are obese, and I mean carrying hundreds of extra pounds, running is not your friend. At least not yet. Think about what running really is. Every single step is a mini single-leg jump, and with each landing, your joints absorb about 2.5 to 3 times your body weight. So if someone weighs 300 pounds, that's nearly 900 pounds of force smashing into their knees, hips, and ankles with every stride. Multiply that by thousands of steps over a mile, and you've basically turned your cartilage into a chew toy. And for what? A few extra calories burned compared to a brisk walk? Or maybe for views and engagement? You'd burn almost the same amount with far less damage by walking uphill. It's painful to watch someone run when they're clearly struggling to even walk. She cannot walk half a mile without gasping.
How much weight have you lost? You look amazing.
3 perfect examples of how fat influencers sugarcoat hard truths to sell comfort. Here's the reality no one wants to say out loud. Fat loss is about diet first, about fixing your gut microbiome, eating real food, controlling calories, and prioritizing protein. It's about lifting weights to build muscle and support mental health. And yes, it's about movement, but movement that challenges you, not just entertains you. Thanks for watching. If you found this entertaining or helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a wake-up call. And remember, don't just accept your body. Build it.
Get your ass up. We're going to the gym.
The idea of waking up early and moving your body is fantastic. But if this is some once-in-a-blue-moon 5 a.m. performance for the camera, then we're not celebrating discipline. Because real progress is not built on one random Monday morning of enthusiasm. Also, this seems a lot like sarcasm and satire, but let's see.
Rise and shine, rise and shine. Oh my god, my boyfriend scared the out of me. Rise and shine. It's Monday morning. It's 5:45. Let's do a timestamp. 5:45. It's early. It is the middle of the night. But you know what, you guys? I am up and I am ready. The gym rat in me woke me up. Bye, Puff. The gym rat in me woke up this morning with no problem. And I know you're wondering, Pris, huh? You literally hate waking up early. I know. I hate waking up early.
This line tells us more than she probably intended. This isn't someone who is a gym rat. This is someone pretending to be one for social media. And before anyone gets offended, yes, I'm judging. Because the truth is, most stereotypes exist for a reason. If someone looks like they haven't been prioritizing health, odds are they haven't.
I hate waking up early, girl. One thing about me is I could sleep. Put a pillow, a comfy bed in front of me, and I'm out. I'm out. Today, I woke up and my hair was laid back, my eyelashes were on. I was ready. I was ready for whatever came my way. I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling focused on the goal. A bit of indigestion here.
Motivation is like caffeine. It spikes, then crashes. The reason most people fail at weight loss is they rely on motivation instead of discipline. And discipline isn't glamorous. It's setting your alarm, prepping your meals, building a sleep routine, and showing up to lift even when you're not in the mood. If you want to burn fat and build muscle, that is what changes your body composition.
Go to the gym. We're gonna go move our body. And we're gonna what? I can't hear you, what, girl? We're gonna unbig our backs. The weekend is over, babe. It's time to go back to the gym. The rat in us is calling us into that gym. And we gotta go. Come on, let's go together. Come on.
Funny. Going to the gym should be purposeful with structured training. If you want fat loss, prioritize compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, movements that recruit the most muscle fibers, elevate metabolism, and build strength. And here's a fun fact. Muscle tissue burns up to 3 times more calories at rest than fat tissue. That means the more muscle you build, the easier it is to keep the fat off.
All right, friends, we're done with the gym. Y'all.
Done? That's it? You woke up early, did what exactly? Some kettlebell juggling? That's your workout? I'm sorry, but if this is your entire fat-burning strategy, don't be surprised when the scale doesn't move. And while we're here, front raises, the exercise most people default to when they don't know what else to do, are one of the least effective and unnecessary moves you can waste your energy on.
Hey friends, we're done with the gym. Y'all, I am feeling like today's gonna be such a good day and I had such a good gym workout. Honestly, you guys, I'm gonna get those kettlebells down. Like, whether it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna be a kettlebell professional. And today I was moving those things around. I was throwing them up in the air, juggling with them. I was doing all types of activities with those kettlebells, okay? Because one thing about me, a kettlebell hates to see me coming. I wake up in the
I'm going to be a kettlebell professional. Cool, but how about becoming metabolically healthy first? Numerous studies show that resistance training reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, and those mental benefits are stronger when paired with good nutrition. Which brings me to the part she never mentions once: diet. If you're serious about weight loss, what you put in your mouth matters far more than what you do for 45 minutes in the gym. And speaking of nutrition, let's talk gut health, because your gut microbiome can literally influence how much fat your body stores. A diet high in processed carbs and sugar feeds the bad bacteria, which can increase inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which make fat loss harder. On the flip side, fiber-rich vegetables, fermented foods support a healthy gut, and a healthy gut supports a leaner body. So yeah, you can't out-train a bad diet. If you're slamming junk food but juggling kettlebells at 6 a.m., you're just decorating a sinking ship.
I wake up in the mornings, I'm like, why am I here at the gym at 5 in the morning? It's literally the middle of the night. Everything is asleep. The rats, the birds, the lizards, everything literally is asleep. And then I get here and I'm like, this is actually so much fun. I feel like I've become friends with everybody here in the mornings. Like, most of them don't even know I exist, but like, I know they exist. And like, I'm like, hey girl, hey Joe, hey Patricia, hey Sally, like, girl, you're looking good. I see you. I feel like I just love it here. All the gym rats together, and it's just like one big room full of rats. Gym rats, not like regular rats. Anyways, I hope y'all have the best day ever. I feel so motivated this morning, and happy Monday. Let's get it.
Even though I had a lot of things on my mind to say about this video when I came across it, I have to admit that I do find it inspiring in its own way. Because her audience isn't a room full of athletes. It's mostly people who are severely overweight, even morbidly obese. And if watching this gets them off the couch and into a gym even once, that's already a win. If this silly, chaotic energy is what it takes to make someone take the first step toward fat loss and a healthier life, then I support that. That said, we also have to be honest. This wasn't really a workout. It was more of a vibe session with a kettlebell. And if the goal is actual transformation, not just views or motivation theater, then the next step is to grow beyond this unserious, childish approach. Shift from random fun to structured training, from chaos to discipline. So yeah, keep going, keep pushing, but level it up. Motivation gets people in the door, but seriousness and strategy are what keep them there and turn them into who they're meant to be.
You're so funny. Emma, follow you home.
As long as you get those steps in.
Sorry, my mental health said no today.
Today, I woke up. Me too, girl.
Your vibes are truly beautiful. Feeling more and more excited about going to the gym. You were an inspiration. Thank you, girly.
I'm going to tell you exactly what the problem with the body positivity movement is.
I came across a video where someone pro-fat acceptance said body positivity was flawed, and I had to stop and listen. So let's break this down.
Body positivity was never going to work because its message at its core was flawed.
You're right, but not for the reason you think.
Even though it challenges unrealistic beauty standard and it came at a point in history where we really needed that.
Unrealistic beauty standards? You mean the idea that health looks better than sickness? Human beings are wired to find physical fitness attractive because it's a sign of strong genes and good health.
Something about it never quite sat right with me. Maybe you've also felt it somewhere in the back of your mind that something about it felt disingenuous, but you were never quite able to voice it out. So I'm going to tell you exactly what the problem with the body positivity movement is.
Of course it didn't sit right. Deep down, even the most dedicated body positivity advocates know the message collapses under its own weight. It's cognitive dissonance. You can chant all bodies are beautiful all you want, but the second you see a fit, strong person next to someone who is severely overweight, your biology tells you which one is thriving.
The first problem is that this idea that we could simply choose to be beautiful completely ignores the fact that powerful cultural beauty standards exist. And
you're blaming culture for something that's nature. The reason a lean, strong body is considered attractive in every corner of the planet across race, geography, and history isn't because of a global conspiracy. It's because those are signs of health and fertility. Our bodies evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to recognize health as attractive.
And that there are social consequences for being fat or ugly. Discrimination, judgment, loss of opportunity. With all of this, our culture creates a very powerful fear in women that they just cannot forget so easily.
So the reason body positivity failed is because women are too afraid of judgment? That's the argument? If fear of social consequences is all it takes to destroy a movement, maybe the movement was never based on anything real. And yes, there are social consequences for being obese. That's just cause and effect. Obesity increases the risk of over 200 diseases. People instinctively avoid danger.
These messages don't exist in a vacuum. It's really hard to believe that everybody is beautiful when you exist in a climate that repeatedly tells you that only some bodies and some faces are considered beautiful.
There shouldn't be a belief at all. Believing that every body is beautiful is as absurd as believing every car is fast. It's a measurable reality. Some bodies are healthier, stronger, more functional, and yes, more attractive than others. It's observable.
The second problem with body positivity is that it still exists in a binary worldview that opposes beautiful with ugly or average.
No, the binary worldview you're describing comes directly from fat acceptance itself. The entire narrative is built on dividing the world into oppressed fat people and privileged thin people. You can't complain about a binary that your own ideology invented. And yes, most people are average. That's literally what average means. But average isn't the goal. Growth is.
The message that we can choose to be beautiful implies that we should all aspire to feel beautiful. It implies that there is something wrong with women that look average. There is nothing wrong with looking average. In fact, by definition, most of us do. Body positivity, by encouraging women to feel more beautiful, actually contributes to a media landscape that continuously tells women to focus on their appearance.
This is where the argument eats itself. You complain that body positivity focuses too much on beauty, but that's all it ever did. It never focused on strength, discipline, or health. If you really cared about shifting focus, you'd be promoting body responsibility, not positivity.
Before I end this video, there is another crucial point to be said here. Body positivity emerged in one of the darkest times of body image in response to the 2000s. These women did what they could in the context they were in. At the time, showing your body like this was extremely brave. It was unseen before.
Bravery isn't the same as correctness. Sure, it took guts for people to challenge size zero fashion models in the early 2000s. But bravery doesn't make a bad idea good. At some point, representation turned into glorification of unhealthy bodies.
Was unseen before, and what they did had a lasting impact on beauty standards and on the conversations we're having today about them. Was it perfect? No. Was it good at the time? Yes. And I guess today is the day where we can start finding new alternatives that decenter beauty and that get us out of this binary thinking.
Decenter beauty is code for lower standards even further.
If you like this video, hi, my name is Lucy. I'm a therapist and I specialize in helping people break away from any negative pattern they might have around food or their bodies.
And yet, here you are, defending one of the most destructive negative patterns of all. Pretending that choices don't matter.
So if you like this topic, maybe consider following this account for more content like this.
Body positivity tried to rewrite the rules of reality. And reality doesn't bend that easily. And you don't get to blame culture for outcomes that come from choices. Fat acceptance and body positivity have failed not because people are mean, but because biology doesn't care about your narrative. Health will always look like health, and deep down, we all know what that looks like.
Body neutrality always. I feel so neutral towards my body. I had that conversation a few weeks ago with a friend, trying to explain to him that I don't feel either beautiful or ugly. I don't appreciate when people tell me they think I'm pretty because it makes me uncomfortable and they assume it's because I have body image issue, but really it's because the sentence doesn't make sense to me. What makes me uncomfortable is that I am supposed to say thank you to something that makes me confused and a tad irritated. I just don't think of my body that way.
I just want us to aim towards body neutrality. It's my dream.
Yes, the whole messaging around, you are beautiful as you are, is still adhering to the idea of women's value residing in beauty. Like, for one, if everyone is beautiful, nobody is beautiful.
Body positivity, fat acceptance, fat liberation, body neutrality, they're all just different labels slapped on the same delusion. Each of them tries to dress up the same core idea, that you can detach how you feel about your body from the actual condition it's in. Different names, same fantasy. A comforting lie that excuses stagnation instead of pushing people toward health. At the end of the day, the solution isn't hashtags or movements, it's action. Weight loss isn't some mysterious puzzle, it's consistency. Start by cutting out processed junk and liquid calories. Focus on whole foods with protein and fiber, and move your body every single day. Build muscle, sleep enough, track what you eat, and be honest with yourself. It's about refusing to settle.
The number one question I get asked as a plus-size personal trainer.
This might be a hot take for some people, but
one of our favorite classes that we teach is our Power Plus Wellness strength training class.
Can you take a guess? The number one question I get asked as a plus-size personal trainer? Why did you become one? Like, why on earth would you become a trainer in a plus-size body? And then why would you open up a gym for plus-size women? Like, why for plus-size women? Like, why? Here's why. I had attended a boot camp style gym for 2 years, and I was fat shamed quite regularly because of my size. Even though I was doing the workouts, I might have to modify them for injury, but I was doing them. And on a Saturday morning after being there 2 years, a woman next to me looked at me and said, "Are you sure you have medical clearance to be doing this?" And it was in that moment I decided I needed to create a space for plus size women to work out, feel good, learn to love themselves, and feel like they belong. So that's why Fitness by Sarah Taylor was born.
Let's break this down. You opened a gym for plus-size women because you wanted to create a safe space for them. Admirable intention on the surface, sure. But let's dig into that for a second. Why exclusively fat women? Why is your idea of empowerment immediately tied to exclusion? What happens if one of your members does what gyms are literally designed to help people do? Lose weight. Do you hand them a polite eviction notice and say, "Congrats, you're too healthy for us now"? And if that's the case, doesn't that completely defeat the point of a gym? A place people go to change their bodies, improve their health, evolve? What even counts as plus size to you? Is there a scale by the front desk where you decide who's fat enough to deserve membership? And isn't gatekeeping people based on body size the very discrimination you preach so loudly against? Like, imagine if someone opened a gym and said, "Only people under 150 pounds can join." You'd be screaming from the rooftops about how exclusionary and toxic that is. But somehow it's okay when you flip it the other way around? And let's play this out. What if I want to train with my thin best friend, someone I love and support, but she's barred from entering because she's not fat enough for your club? Does she have to put on weight to qualify? Or do I have to choose between her and your so-called inclusive space? The logic crumbles the moment you actually think about it. A gym that punishes success, a welcoming space that literally turns people away. Is the goal to empower women to be healthy and confident, or to build a bubble where they never have to confront growth? Because from where I'm standing, it looks a lot like you want your members fat forever. In part 2 of our Fitness But Make It Confusing series, we're tackling another weird job title: Certified Plus-Size Pilates Instructor. Yeah, not just a Pilates instructor, not just certified plus size. So, the fat Pilates instructor made a TikTok using what fat activists call fatphobic voiceover. Let's watch the video just for fun, and I will tell you what is really bothering me.
This may be a hot take for some people, but if you're 200 pounds, you shouldn't be in a Pilates class. There's no reason why they should allow 200-pound people in a level 2 class. Or you shouldn't be allowed to be a Pilates instructor if you have a gut and you're fat.
We've got the weirdest title in the fitness world: Certified Plus-Size Pilates Instructor. I need someone to explain to me, is the certification because you're plus size, or is it for teaching plus-size people, or is it just a polite way of saying you can't teach anyone else? If the first is true, what happens if you lose weight? You lose the credentials? Like, how does this work exactly? Do they hand you the certificate after weighing you? Is there a BMI requirement to pass the exam? Congratulations, you've failed the practical but passed the donut test. Here's your certificate. And is plus size actually written on the certificate? Like, does it literally say, this person is fully qualified, as long as nobody under size 16 shows up? It sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Pilates is Pilates. The whole point is controlled movement, balance, strength, not the size of the person teaching it or the person practicing the thing. Are we really out here modifying job titles to accommodate body descriptions now? What's next? Certified slightly tired spin instructor, licensed mid-afternoon yoga coach, or is plus size just an adjective you added? And here's another question. If a thin touches a plus size Pilates mat, does he burst into flames? Because that's what this branding implies. Not that you're an instructor, but that your entire professional identity is wrapped around your body size. Which, by the way, is ironic as hell when the whole message is supposed to be, we're more than our bodies. Except apparently not. Apparently, we're literally printing our body size on the qualifications now. I hope not. Honestly, if your entire selling point as a fitness professional is your body size, maybe the problem is that you're more focused on marketing a label than mastering your craft.
I think we lost the plot. Y'all don't like fat people to exercise now? Feels like y'all just hate them and don't care if they're healthy or not.
They're so picky. Speaking from experience, I get bullied for my weight, but as soon as I step foot into the gym, people start looking at me weird. Like, do you want me to lose weight or not?
They just don't want to see us until we've lost weight.
But then if you lose weight now you're fat phobic, you can't win.
Clearly Pilates isn't enough to shed the extra 200 pounds of weight. Y'all need a real gym with weights and treadmills.
It's like a swing without the swing part.
Yes, but instead of going forward, I'm going up. Okay. So you have to see the elbow bend, flip. Okay. Does that make sense?
Towards our shoulders. I don't want my shoulders to move. So I'm not going to try and help by pulling my shoulders up towards my ear.
Okay, can I tell you one of our favorite classes that we teach is our Power Plus Wellness strength training class.
I agree. I truly love teaching this class because we work with a group of people that has normally been afraid of the gym, and we get to teach them all sorts of different movements and help them feel comfortable.
Yeah, being a plus size trainer can be difficult, but being in a room like this with people that we relate to really makes it worthwhile.
I agree. And at the end of every class, I truly hope that everyone walks away feeling proud of the bodies that we live in.
All right, next we have fitness logic that makes no sense. And today's feature? A strength training class for severely overweight people, where the highlight is teaching them bicep curls. Yup, isolation movements. Tiny, single joint exercises. Because what a 500-pound beginner really needs is peak bicep, peak contraction technique. Forget, walking up a flight of stairs without gasping for air. Let's focus on elbow angle precision. Why are we overanalyzing a curl with someone who's carrying an extra 300 pounds of body weight? Who cares if the shoulder stays locked if the heart rate spikes just from standing up? This obsession with details makes zero sense when the foundation isn't even there. Sure, technically, some of the exercises are fine, but in this context, bicep curl is pointless. At that stage, the mission isn't hypertrophy. The mission isn't sculpting the peak of the bicep like you're prepping for the Olympia stage. It's health, it's mobility, it's basic movement competence. And instead, we're in here fine-tuning joint alignment like they're about to step on a bodybuilding stage.
Fat people are smelly, they have bad hygiene.
I just finished.
I was gonna have a rest day, but I decided against that.
If you see a fat woman, or fat person for that matter, in a fitness place.
Apparently, all you need for fitness now is pre-workout, diaper cream, and self-love. What could possibly go wrong? Let's start with a TikTok that treats symptoms with sprays instead of fixing the cause.
So I'm a fat personal trainer, and exercising in a fat body can be really difficult sometimes, both physically and mentally.
That's exactly why we should talk about weight loss, not avoid it.
And I think a big fear that fat people have while exercising is their hygiene. I think that's been instilled in us since we were young, that fat people are smelly, they have bad hygiene, when it really couldn't be farther from the truth.
Well, science says otherwise. Higher body fat equals more skin folds, more trapped moisture, and altered microbiome activity. The bacteria that thrive in those conditions literally produce odor.
Couldn't be farther from the truth because we are so self-aware of how we are perceived. So I wanted to share my top 5 hygiene products as a fat person who exercises regularly that has not only helped me be more confident in the gym, in public, around other people, but also that helps take care of my skin and the body that I have.
Basically, a survival kit for inflammation. So, if your lifestyle requires 5 different products just to manage the consequences of your weight, maybe the solution isn't another cream.
First things first, Monistat chafing gel, diaper rash cream or ointment, hypochlorous acid spray, body wipe like a shower wipe is really useful. To round all the products off, we have a whole body deodorant.
From a biological standpoint, there's a very real reason obesity is linked to stronger or more unpleasant body odor, and it's not a stereotype. When someone carries excess body fat, they also carry more skin folds and surface area, which trap sweat, heat, and moisture, creating the perfect environment for bacteria to thrive. Obesity alters hormones and disrupts how the body regulates oil production and inflammation, both of which influence skin microbiome balance. A diet high in ultra-processed foods and sugar changes the composition of sweat. Add to that the chronic low-grade inflammation and impaired detox pathways common in obesity. The liver, kidneys, and gut microbiome are constantly under stress, meaning more metabolic waste products can be released through sweat.
I would hire you 100% first.
I have been around so many stinky-ass thinner or average-sized people, and as a plus-size person I just don't understand the nose blindness.
You had me at fat personal trainer.
Next up, we've got a few running vlogs. And I've seen a lot of people in my comments saying, that's not really running, because what's actually happening here is in fact a fast walk. Let's see.
Doing a morning run. I swear the only way I'm going to survive this is if I drink pre-workout. Give her a little mix. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Down the hatch. This stuff makes your butt tingle. Behold the preventative Advil. I'm old and I know it. This is the fit. It's really cold, so I'm gonna zip this up.
For anyone who's obese or even moderately overweight, true running can hammer your joints. The impact on knees, hips, and ankles can reach 3 to 4 times your body weight every stride.
Off we go. Doing it. I just finished. I'm gonna go wheeze home now. We're done.
Everyone starts somewhere, but if you start wrong, you stop early. The sustainable path is walk, lift, eat clean, recover, repeat. The goal should not be to prove you can run while obese, but to build a body that can run without pain.
I have a super active day today, so let's go. Fit. Bam.
First, I have PT.
Here they're checking what progress I've made in my walk and my run, and then they're tailoring my exercises for what I need, which apparently is for my butt to wake up because my glutes don't fire.
A classic sign of what's called gluteal amnesia. That happens from years of sitting, weak posterior chain, and excess body weight pulling posture forward. The fix isn't more random running. It's targeted activation, hip bridges, Romanian deadlifts, glute kickbacks.
And now I gotta go run again, so off to the trail I go. Very grateful I keep Advil in the car.
So what she's really doing biomechanically is a power walk, and that's better. At her current size, that's the smartest move. And you won't need Advil if you're training intelligently. You need recovery and a structured plan. Weight loss comes from diet and consistency.
You motivate me. I see muscles.
Great effort.
You are a very hard worker, young lady. I'm proud of you, and you look so beautiful in your outfits.
How far did you go?
For the next video, I was really thinking whether it's okay to include it, but I want to make a point. This is Brittany, a morbidly obese woman who passed unexpectedly at 28. The name of the account is Sick and Tired of Weighing.
Today is day 57, and I was going to have a rest day, but I decided against that. I decided to try to get more comfortable on the trampoline. I've been on it a few times now, and it's just scary. Thinking that this little thing can hold up all my weight. Obviously it does, it's just something that I'm trying to get used to and more comfortable with.
This is tough to watch because it shows how easy it is to believe you're working out just because you're moving. She'll bounce gently on a trampoline, trying to stay active. That effort is real, and it deserves respect, but not every movement counts as effective exercise, especially for fat loss.
So I just decided to bounce around, wiggle around, try to, lift my feet up, get used to just having one foot on the thing, because I've seen these really cool, dance routines that you can do on these, and I would love to do that one day. Tomorrow is another day of aquatic therapy. I also have therapy for my mental health, and I hope that that goes effectively. I really don't have much to say today. I went on live earlier and showed some groceries and stuff. Had a lot of trolls in there, but I'm working through it.
Low-intensity movement like this might help with circulation, but for real body composition change, what matters most is energy balance. Calories in versus calories out. And diet is the biggest lever. You can burn maybe 100 calories bouncing around for 15 minutes, but you can eat that back in 2 bites of a muffin.
Thank y'all so much for the support. Honestly, y'all are getting me through this. Y'all are really helping motivate me and keep me encouraged and just feeling like I can actually do this. Definitely seeing results. I can move more. I have more energy. No depression naps throughout the day. It makes me so emotional. I'm really thankful for it all, and I'm thankful for you. And
once the diet foundation is there, then the best form of exercise isn't random cardio. It's resistance training. Or even a walk outside is better than this. Doing tiny movements while still eating in a surplus just keeps the body stuck in maintenance mode.
I'm really thankful for it all, and I'm thankful for you, and I'm so happy to be helping people. I am working on so many things right now. Cards, my website, YT, things like that. So I'm just excited to see where we're all going to go, and I love the community that we're building. So thank y'all so much, and enjoy this last little bit of me just stomping around here.
I try not to use old videos, but this one somehow found me. I want to point out that this isn't about judging anyone's effort. It's about being honest. Movement feels good, but it's not enough on its own. Nutrition drives the majority of weight loss. Exercise is the accelerator once you've got control of food. So we've talked about how diet drives real progress, and why smart training matters more than random movement. But there's another part of fitness that people don't talk about enough: the social side. This next video touches on that. The description says, "I know it is well-intentioned, but it is so weird."
Here for a quick post-workout PSA. If you see a fat woman, or fat person for that matter, in a fitness place like a gym, there is no need to approach them and congratulate them, or tell them they're brave, or tell them that they're doing it wrong.
I get what she's saying here, and I think she's not wrong about most. But here's where I think the message goes too far. If someone's genuinely trying to help you with form or safety, that's not an insult. It's part of gym culture. We learn by being coached. Every good lifter, from beginners to pros, has been corrected hundreds of times.
Or make suggestions about their body, or tell them about your weight loss. None of those are necessary. And I mean that genuinely and without any sort of snark or disrespect. It's unnecessary.
Not necessary, but sometimes okay. So I actually agree with her main idea, but acting like every comment is harassment creates more isolation. Respect personal space, yes, but also keep that open environment where learning happens. We're all there to get better.
And to the 2 separate people who came up to me at the gym today to tell me to stop lifting such heavy weights and to proclaim that they've been watching me and I'm losing weight, don't.
Yes, no one should assume they know your limits. But again, this comes back to communication. If we all stopped talking to each other out of fear of offending, nobody would grow. The gym thrives on community. spotters, coaches, accountability partners. So fitness culture should be supportive. Compliments are fine, advice is fine, as long as it comes from a place of respect and timing.
Just don't talk to people about their bodies or what they are doing with it unless they ask your opinion. It's always creepy.
I'm fat and would love it if I got a good word from a stranger during a workout. I can think of way worse these days.
Another reason I don't go to a gym.
So if there's one thing all these clips have in common, it's that effort alone isn't enough. It has to be directed effort. Real progress doesn't come from another hygiene hack, another bounce on a trampoline, or another round of pre-workout just to survive a jog. It comes from consistency, nutrition, and smart training. So don't get distracted by trends or noise. Focus on the fundamentals. Eat real food, lift weights, walk daily, sleep well. Diet first, strength second, consistency forever.
Don't get fat. Whatever you do in life, do not get fat. It's already enough things in life to worry about.
Well, then your working out isn't working.
Just because I'm on a weight loss journey and will be eventually a skinny legend.
You know what? The internet has literally brainwashed you into thinking that Ozempic body is normal.
This is for all the big fat girls.
I was losing a lot of weight. And then...
It's never been about my size. The world's made it about my size.
Today, we're looking at the wildest clips of the fat acceptance and healthy at any size, going to the gym and talking fitness. Let's get into it. You ever notice how the fat acceptance movement has gone from love yourself to never improve yourself? The insufferable Marissa in action.
Well, then your working out isn't working. That's not fucking how working out works. Working out is good for your fucking health regardless of you losing weight or not. And newsflash, I'm not trying to lose fucking weight because I don't want to be smaller. I like my body.
It's okay to like your body. You should. But liking something doesn't mean you stop improving it. And working out is good for your health regardless of weight loss is true statement. But you know what else is healthy? Losing weight. Imagine you lost some weight and you go to the gym. That's a double win. So yes, exercise is healthy, but it's healthier when combined with a healthy body composition.
So yes, it is working because working out is healthy. Like, what the fuck? How stupid can you be? I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to shrink my body size. I'm working out simply because it is healthy. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about of outworking a fucking diet. I'm not trying to lose weight. Get that in your head. Not all fat people want to lose fucking weight.
This is the biggest lie. If you could wake up tomorrow at a healthy, strong weight with no effort, would you really say no? Probably not. What people don't want is the process, the work, the discipline, the discomfort, because progress hurts a little. But that's what makes it real. Saying, I don't want to lose weight, is often just code for, I've given up trying. And that's the tragedy of modern fat acceptance.
So stop with your fat phobia, stop with your fat phobic fucking comment, leave fat people alone, and have the day you fucking deserve.
Your working out isn't working. Yes, if your workouts aren't leading to any improvements, then maybe something isn't working. Because exercise does one thing consistently. It changes your body over time. That's literally the point of progressive overload, of training adaptation. But I do question whether it's true that you work out, or at least a skeptic, how effective and frequent your workouts are.
The way people are so obsessed with other people's bodies blows my mind.
You mean how it puts a huge drain on our health system, causing all of us to pay more? Yeah, it's super hard to understand.
And just when you think the messaging couldn't get more confusing, the next clip takes it even further. We've gone from working out without wanting results to barely moving counts as a workout. The caption literally says, "You don't need a gym membership," as if that single sentence justifies everything happening in the video. So this TikTok really shows how far this effort is optional mindset has gone. The caption reads, "If you Google parks with exercise equipment, you may have one close to you." I wanted to share this to show that you don't need a gym membership. And sure, technically you don't need a gym membership. Fitness doesn't require fancy equipment. But what's misleading here is the message that barely moving on park equipment somehow counts as a full workout, or that this is what meaningful progress looks like. It's not about judging someone for starting small. Everyone begins somewhere. But when content like this is presented as proof of results, it sends the wrong signal. Because that's what the sentence implies. Proof. Health and strength don't come from just showing up. They come from consistency, intensity, and progression. You can't trick your body into transformation with a few casual swings on outdoor equipment.
What exactly does this do?
Strengthens your core.
Obliques and burns calories. What muscle group is this exercising?
Results are showing. Yes, save those $10.
Clearly it's working.
Okay, now this next one sounds like a motivational speech that somehow turned into a battle cry. Confidence doesn't need to yell.
In case nobody's told you today, you are beautiful and worthy of respect and love at the size that you are at now, not the size that you want to be. Trying to lose weight for my health, to be better.
Trying to lose weight for health, while insisting that size doesn't matter at all.
But it doesn't mean that I don't deserve love and respect right now. In general, whenever I get like negative fat shaming comments on this account, I pretty much just block and delete immediately because you're not gonna waste my energy. You're an energy vampire, you're not going to get mine. And be so for real, you would never have the guts to say any of these things to my face. You're saying it behind a screen because you're a little putita who needs attention. You desperately need attention.
I think that in fact you are searching for attention. Here is a question. If you're genuinely content, why the rage? Real self-acceptance usually makes people calmer, not louder.
But just because I'm on a weight loss journey and will be eventually a skinny legend doesn't mean that I'm ever going to turn my back on you and call myself a big back, say that I hated myself, this, that, and the other when I was fat. I will always be here for you big queens because this is bullshit the way people think that they can treat us. No, I'm not less than just because I'm big. No, I'm not a fucking flawed human just because I'm big.
Halfway through, you talk as if the transformation already happened. When I'm a skinny legend, I'll never turn my back on big queens. That phrasing treats success as guaranteed, as though speaking it out loud replaces actually doing it.
And you would never have the guts to say this shit to me, so pack it up, honestly. You look sad and desperate for attention. It looks like you're jealous that a big girl has a following and has people that care about her.
Real support shouldn't depend on staying unhealthy together. All this rant to try and justify and excuse you wanting to lose weight to your following.
You need somebody to follow who is plus size and maybe is trying to better their health, who's not going to turn their back on you and try to give you some skinny BS once they do lose the weight. I'm your girl and I'm here for you. And fuck the haters. Fuck the haters.
I think they turned their back on you. Based on the engagement your video got, I think that your fat community is mad at you for trying to lose weight.
Facts. If you got haters, you're doing something right.
And just when you think the messaging couldn't get more about performative empowerment, here comes another one.
You know what? May have had an anxiety attack, might have gotten in a fight with one of my friends, and continued to cry this whole time, but I'm still at the fucking gym. Still going hard. If I can do it, you can.
I think announcing that you're still here suggests you need an audience to keep going. And that's what a lot of this online fitness talk has become. Not about health, but about collecting applause for participation. You don't need to post proof every time you step on a treadmill. Your body will show the results.
The weakest people are those afraid of change and project that onto others. Don't let anyone stop you. Sending good vibes.
Next, we have a sarcastic lecture.
Oh, and by the way, in case the internet has literally brainwashed you into thinking that Ozempic body is normal, here you go. Here you go. Okay? I don't have a flat stomach because I have organs. Guys, I actually have organs. I know. I work out 5 to 6 times a week, and this is my body. And how do I have the energy to work out 5 to 6 times a week? Because I actually eat enough calories. Because I fuel my body. How is my hair so long? Because I eat enough food. I love you so much. You do not need to look like anybody else on the internet, because I promise you, the people that you idolize on the internet, they don't even look like themselves on the internet. They don't, honestly.
So, people with flat stomachs also have organs. Having organs doesn't require a belly. That's not how anatomy works, it's how excuses work. Dismissing every fit body as fake is just another form of deflection. Not everyone who's lean is starving or secretly miserable. Some people just work hard, eat smart, and stay consistent. No magic injection required. You don't need to look like anyone else on the internet. That part I agree with. You don't. But let's also not act like being comfortable with zero progress is a victory.
I hope she knows she's the reason I eat.
Someone with a flat stomach can be healthy too.
Body positive till it's a skinny girl's body. Thank you. As someone who went down the Ozempic road and had serious health issues from it, it makes me so happy to see you on my page.
Next, we have a rare sighting of Jay Bay.
This is for all the big fat girls. If you're not, keep scrolling. Bitch, go ahead and get that gym fit, even if you're not gonna go to the gym. You could be cooking a dish, shaking that ass. Get that gym clothes, ho.
Apparently, Jay Bay, at some point in life, went to the gym. Or, at least, to film a video. Alright, this next one is a perfect example of what happens when people misunderstand how fitness actually works. Old Amberlynn reads satire, but I will try to be serious and analytical.
I was losing a lot of weight. And then, I found out that my girlfriend's parents had a gym membership and they wanted to put me on it as well. And I was like, yes, I love the gym. It's fun and exciting and stuff like that. So I started going to the gym. And my girlfriend and I would go and we'd do this thing called Strive. It was a set plan / meeting inside the gym where you went in a circuit with a bunch of other people and did all these exercises, from the elliptical to arm ups to just anything, honestly, you can think of. And I think it lasted a little over an hour. So we would do these things and I started noticing something very strange. First of all, I thought, okay, I'm losing a lot of weight, so I'm gonna lose a lot of weight going to the gym. It's gonna make my weight come off even faster. Actually, no, I was wrong. The weird thing that happened to me is that I wasn't losing weight at all. To make matters worse, I was actually gaining weight.
First of all, you don't see results after a few days in the gym. That's just reality. Your body needs time to adapt. Your metabolism shifts, your muscles recover. Progress happens in months and years, not in one Strive circuit session. If it took decades to gain the weight, why would it come off in days?
Most of you might also say, oh, you were gaining muscle. No, you do not gain muscle in a few days. That is the biggest myth I have probably ever heard in my life. I have done a lot of research on it because I'm very curious. When I exercise, I do drink more water. So I'm not retaining water because I'm drinking more. I honestly, I don't understand it.
No, it's not muscle. But water retention, glycogen storage, and inflammation from new workouts can easily add a few pounds early on, especially when you start with what you have. But even if this is true, it's not fat gain. It's just your body adjusting. So, the scale is one metric, not the only one. Now, giving her the benefit of the doubt, maybe she did start eating a bit more because she felt like she earned it. That's super common. It's called caloric compensation. After workouts, people subconsciously eat more or move less later in the day.
In my mind, you don't need exercise to lose weight, but you need exercise to become healthy. It's like a heart health. Do you know what I'm saying? A heart health. I shy away from exercise because I feel like it does not help with my weight loss at all. Aside from the gym experience, I have had other experiences with working out that prolonged my weight loss. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is.
You don't need exercise to lose weight, but you need it to be healthy. That's half true. Diet does drive most of fat loss, yes, but exercise massively helps keep it off. It builds muscle, improves insulin sensitivity, boosts metabolism, and supports long-term mental health. So, bottom line, everyone hits plateaus. Everyone gets frustrated. But that's when you double down on discipline, not give up and rewrite the laws of physics.
I'm not retaining water because I'm drinking more. What?
Did she say arm-ups?
Did she say, in a few days? Like, did she expect instant results?
Next, we have a recent Tess Holiday's nonsense.
Bill Maher said on his show that people who talk about healthy at any size have, quote, blood on your hands.
I mean, who's looking to Bill Maher for advice, though? I'm not. And also, there's so many people in those positions that easily kind of say those things without actually having any knowledge about what they're talking about. So I think for me, you mean to tell me that there's blood on my hands for encouraging folks to love themselves? It's never been about my size. The world's made it about my size. I haven't. I've just tried to exist and tell others to love themselves as they show up right now. I've never told anybody to lose weight. I've never told anybody to stay fat. I've always just said, love yourself, because the world is a really hard place. And if you can't love yourself where you're at right now, then, babe, life's gonna be hard.
So your life is easy. You can walk just few steps at a time. And the world's made it about my size is interesting. Again and again, it's not your fault. Nothing is. So, this last TikTok really sums up everything we've seen across fat acceptance. She defends the healthy at any size slogan as if critics are attacking self-love itself, when the real issue is pretending that health and size are disconnected.
She's part of the cast of Dr. Now's show.
I'm a plus-size personal trainer, and
A plus-size personal trainer. Yep, you heard that right. Nothing wrong with helping people move, but it instantly raises the question, if your program works so well, why hasn't it worked for you?
I'm a plus-size personal trainer, and I had a very interesting call with a potential client today. So I just launched a new program called Empowered, which is one-on-one coaching to help you build sustainable changes in your life through habits. And we talk fitness, self-love, confidence, sleep, nutrition, all the things. But somebody to be accountable with, and somebody who's going to teach you to do it healthy and not all or nothing.
Nutrition drives weight loss way more than workouts. You can't out-train a bad diet, and your gut bacteria literally influence cravings and fat storage. That's why people who lift weights, eat high protein, and sleep enough, they're not just stronger, they've literally rebuilt their metabolism from the inside out.
So this one client talked to me about all the time she has worked with a trainer in the past and felt strong, but it was a lot of macro counting, a lot of tracking, and very extreme in terms of like doing all or nothing. And then something catastrophic happened in life and she completely let go of everything that she was doing. And this is a story I hear over and over and over and over and over again from clients, myself included, which is why I've created programs to ditch the all or nothing mentality, because
it was too extreme. Translation, it was working, but it required effort. The gym is meant to be transformation. Tracking macros isn't toxic diet culture. It's called data. You wouldn't drive cross-country without a GPS, so why would you try to lose fat blindfolded?
Or nothing mentality, because especially this time of year, we hear new year, new me, and that you can fix it like this, and nobody can sustain when you do all or nothing. So that's why I do things differently.
Doing things differently. The slogan of every influencer who wants to sell comfort. Maybe instead of ditching the all or nothing mentality, we should ditch the nothing part and stick with the all in.
Yes. Glad I'm not the only personal trainer who focuses on the realistic health of our clients, and not the crazy restrictions that's so often seen.
So I'm a plus-size personal trainer. Yep, you heard me right, so let that sink in. Now, on to what I have to say. I created a space for plus-size women because I was fat-shamed in the gym, and I'm getting kind of annoyed by a theme of comments that I'm getting about what I do. So, apparently, because I've created a space
for plus size women, I'm now saying that if you are not plus size, that you are stick and that I'm shaming you and that there's something wrong with you. Let's get something straight. That is not at all what I'm saying. But can you walk into a gym without being shamed because of your body size? Can you go into a store, know that they carry your size without seeing something that says plus size section? If you can't, then you have no idea what it's like to walk into these spaces and feel uncomfortable and like you don't belong. So I created a space so that we could. That's it. That's all that it is.
Fat people are not shamed in gyms. We will later see what her shaming was. Nobody cares what you look like in the gym. Everyone's too busy trying not to drop a dumbbell on their foot. The gym is literally the one place where people go to change. That's the point. And the idea that plus-size trainers don't body shame thin people? Please. When your whole brand is built around real bodies, it's always paired with a side of eye roll toward anyone who actually got lean through discipline. The gym doesn't judge, but your results do.
This is why I started documenting my weight loss journey on Instagram BC. I knew women out there needed that one person who's got their back.
If someone comes in and loses a ton of weight and gets really fit, can they still come in? Or do they have to be plus size?
I got asked this question so many times on my last post about why I became a plus size personal trainer and opened a gym for plus size women, so I thought I would answer it here. Also note that due to COVID, we had to close our Toronto studio, so now we are 100% virtual, which means you can join us worldwide. But the reason I created this space for plus size women is because we are excluded out of the fitness industry and we're constantly told we're not enough unless we look like ABC. So we are a no weight talk, no diet talk, and a completely judgment-free zone for women to build their confidence and strength in and out of the gym and to move those beautiful bodies without those pressures. So if you lose weight, you continue to enjoy our community. We have women of all shapes and sizes, all fitness levels. I just focus on plus size women because we are excluded, but really it's just so that you feel comfortable in a space with people who might look like you and who have similar ideas to you. And we also focus on the journey to self-love, learning to love who you are. Part of my story is getting out of an abusive marriage and learning to love myself.
This is the same question I had in my previous video about her. Let's think about her answer. So basically, without the philosophizing, it's a plus-size gym that welcomes everyone. But you can't talk about weight or diet? That's like opening a driving school where nobody is allowed to mention cars. Fitness isn't just movement, it's also nutrition and mindset. And if someone actually loses weight, the idea that they're still welcome, well, great, but what are they supposed to talk about then? Their favorite resistance bands? The gym should be the one place where progress is celebrated, not censored. Lifting weights, tracking your food, fixing your diet, that's not toxic, that's transformation.
My trainer told me I should put down the fork. I told him I thought I had an ED and he told me I can't have an emotional relationship with food.
Let's see the shaming she is referring to that was the turning point.
I was fat shamed at the gym and you're never gonna believe what I did. Okay, so here's the story. I was at the gym. I had been going to this boutique gym in Toronto for 2 years. I went like 4 or 5 days a week. People knew me. But one day on a Saturday morning, I was on the TRX doing mountain climbers, which is a very challenging exercise, doing it no problem. And this lady looks at me and says to me, "Are you sure you have medical clearance to be here?" I was like, "Excuse me?" She made the comment simply because of my size. And at that time, I was like a size 16, a 1X, and I was on the small end of plus. And you know what I did? I ended up certifying as a personal trainer. I ended up opening 2 fitness studios in the city. I had to close down due to COVID and went 100% virtual. Now I have an app for plus size women, and I work with women on not only moving their beautiful bodies.
This kind of phrasing sounds sweet, but it's also a perfect example of how the modern fitness conversation got hijacked by comfort. Movement shouldn't be celebrating where you are. The human body adapts when challenged.
Not only moving their beautiful bodies, but the journey to self-love and confidence and how to embrace who you are without the shame that you get in most gyms. Because let's be honest, if you are a plus size girly, you have probably been shamed or felt that people were talking about you or felt a ways going into a gym. And sometimes you just want to be able to move and feel good. And so that's what I do. And here's the thing, when bad things happen, we get to choose how we respond to them. So I could have just like let the lady have it. I could have quit. I could have stopped going to the gym, but no, I didn't. I decided I wasn't the only plus size woman that wanted to feel good in her skin, and so I created a safe space for us to do that.
So she was fat shamed. Was it rude? Yeah, definitely. But is one random stranger's comment evidence that fat people can't go to gyms? Of course not. Every person who's ever touched a barbell can be judged for something. Being too skinny, too weak, too slow, too inexperienced. Most people will take that awkward moment, laugh it off, and go back to their workout. They won't turn it into a lifelong brand identity.
When people say things like that to me, I'm always speechless, and come up with a great comeback. Sadly, it comes to me at 3 a.m., in my bed, sleepless.
Good for her for turning the insult into motivation. That part's awesome. But the story has been polished into a hero origin myth. Someone questions her ability, so she becomes a plus-size trainer, opens studios, and launches an app that forbids shame. If a single stranger's comment pushed you toward fitness, that's proof that challenge fuels growth, not comfort. Ironically, the very shaming she's railing against is what gave her drive. So why build an empire teaching people to avoid that same friction?
I just gotta come on here and say, like, being a fat woman in the gym is not for the weak, and I say that as like a movement coach who encourages people to show up and take up space.
The phrase, being a fat woman in the gym is not for the weak, immediately frames the gym as some kind of battlefield, a place where merely showing up becomes an act of rebellion. But the gym isn't an enemy camp. It's a public space for anyone who wants to improve themselves, physically or mentally. When we turn a normal act of self-care into a symbol of oppression, we end up glorifying victimhood instead of empowerment. Saying it's not for the weak sounds powerful on the surface, but it implies that taking responsibility for one's health is extraordinary, when it should be normal. The goal should be to make going to the gym ordinary, not a heroic act.
So here's the thing, I go to the gym and I particularly, as a fat woman, look for spaces where I'm not gonna have as much attention because it feels safer to me. I choose to let my body be as it is, and I show up at the gym, and it shouldn't have to take so much bravery to do that, but that's the world that we live in.
Just a quick word about the attention avoiding. That is understandable from a human standpoint. Nobody likes being stared at. But the contradiction jumps out immediately. You say you teach people to take up space and show up, yet you also say you look for spaces where you can avoid being seen. If taking up space is your philosophy, then attention is part of the deal. And let's think about the idea that it takes bravery to go to the gym. The gym isn't a hostile territory. Most people there are far too busy watching their own form, counting reps, or avoiding embarrassment to be policing anyone else's appearance. Yes, there are jerks everywhere, but they're not the norm. By insisting that simply existing in a gym is an act of courage, you reinforce the fear you claim to fight. You're making the gym sound intimidating, especially to those who already feel uncertain about fitness. Instead of lowering the emotional barrier, that framing raises it, discouraging others from going.
And the thing is, this isn't just like it's not the single experience that I had tonight that's pissing me off. It's the fact that, like, I know this comes with me showing up in a public space in my body, and I'm fucking sick of it. Pretty regularly, and I try to, like, prepare myself for it. I get people that come up to me because I'm in a larger body, and they say, like, good job, keep going, which, first of all, like, fuck all the way off. I'm sorry, but if you're someone watching this video and you like to cheer fat people on in the gym, maybe some of them like it, but I bet you at least one of them doesn't like that shit.
This really highlights a disconnect between intent and interpretation. You say people who offer encouragement should back off because it feels patronizing. But most of those comments are meant in good faith. The gym is one of the few social spaces where small gestures of support are normal. When you treat positive feedback as an insult, you start policing kindness. It creates a situation where nobody can say anything, not praise, not silence, not advice, without being accused of body shaming. That mindset isolates you from community.
Rarely is there somebody that comes up to me and says, holy shit, you seem so strong, right? Like, that's not what they're saying. Now, To say all that, this is what happened tonight. I had a guy come up to me, so I'm already prepared for like a good job, keep going. But then this guy proceeds to like go on and tell me that he's a personal trainer. And not only is he a personal trainer, but he really loves to help women like me, and thinks that he has a program that could be really beneficial for someone like me, but he really wants me to keep going. Now, before people jump into my comments and say he's just trying to help and he's just trying to earn a living, 100% down for people advertising their services and for making like people aware of what they have to offer. Here's the problem where it's not okay with me. He wants to profit off my body size, right? Like,
now here's where your argument shifts from annoyance to accusation. You interpret a personal trainer offering help as exploitation, as someone trying to profit off your body size. But that's literally the business of fitness, helping people of all body types achieve their goals. If a trainer approached a thin person and offered coaching, it would be called networking. When the same thing happens to you, you call it predatory. That's a double standard. Not every offer of help is an insult, and not every business interaction is an act of greed. Although it's a weird interaction, yes. But a simple no would have been enough.
He wants to profit off my body size, right? Like, there's, in a fitness culture in general, like, there is already this thing where like fat people, fat women especially, but fat people are preyed upon because you feel like you can change their body easily and show results that's going to get you more attention to your business. Well, I'm sorry, but stop going up to fat women and asking to profit off of them in some way. I am an advocate of taking up space in the wellness and fitness world, and it makes me so irate that somebody like me in a body my size and probably much smaller and then definitely larger, like, doesn't have the ability to go to the gym and be left alone.
You claim that fat people are preyed upon because trainers can show quick results. That argument misunderstands what fitness culture is. The entire industry, from rehabilitation to performance training, is about measurable progress. Trainers work with all sorts of bodies, from underweight clients to elite athletes. Calling that process predatory turns the concept of self-improvement into something sinister. It assumes that every attempt to change is exploitation. But the reason trainers highlight transformations is because progress inspires others. I think that you can't have motivation without visible change.
To go to the gym and be left alone. And it's not to say that other people don't go to the gym and get talked to all the time and that's annoying or whatever, but I think there's a very big difference in going to the gym and people saying good job once in a while, or like offering to help you with a machine once in a while, or people that specifically look at you and want to come up to you to try to sell you something or profit off of their ability to change your body. I think I need to start actually like barking or screeching at people when they talk to me in the gym. It'll be one of these. This is exactly what it will go like. Ah!
But you can't demand respect while mocking the act of basic communication. The gym isn't a social experiment. It's a public space where normal human interaction happens. So you want people to stop engaging altogether? Okay.
If you're gonna drop down into my comments and start talking about how people are just trying to help and I should be grateful for them coming up to me in the gym to tell me what a good job I'm doing, I'm gonna need you to not, because I don't have space for that right now. And I hope that if you are one of those people that specifically loves to go up to fat people in the gym and give them advice or try to sell your services to them, I hope maybe you'll take a step back. And no matter what body you're in, I just want to say that nobody can take a quick look at you and tell you what your body needs. And if they come up to you and say that, I would think twice about working with them. And if you need safe resources, I'm going to start tagging all of them in this video because there are so many. Now that's the end of my rant, so I'm going to go practice my screech because I think it needs some work.
The point of the gym, and fitness as a whole, is shared effort, I think. Everyone walks in imperfect. Everyone's working on something. The difference between progress and stagnation is mindset. Instead of turning every comment or glance into proof of oppression, maybe it's worth asking, what if people aren't against you? What if they're just there, doing their thing, just like you? And that realization, that not everything revolves around judgment might be the most freeing thing of all.
Literally, this people come up and ask if lost the weight yet. Like I'm there to get stronger, not skinnier or smaller. I like my body as it is.
It's the weird God complex people have because they want to be the one to save you. Which is so frustrating. I just disassociate these days. You're beautiful and strong and your body is perfect.
If you walk in the gym expecting judgment, you'll find it everywhere. But if you walk in expecting progress, that's exactly what you'll see. So if you're watching this and you've ever hesitated to start, stop worrying about who's looking. No one's keeping score but you. Go to the gym. Go for a walk. Lift something heavier than yesterday. Build momentum, not excuses. Anyway, that's my take. Hit like, drop a comment, and tell me where you stand. Thank you for watching.